It is 6 o'clock. Good morning. Live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios, I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall 20-12 to the Denver Broncos yesterday in Mile High and start the season 0-1. Quarterback Cam Ward in his NFL debut threw for just 112 yards and completed just 12 of his 28 passing attempts. The Titans on offense gave up 6 sacks on the day, but the Titans defense were able to get just 1 sack thanks to Jeffrey Simmons on Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. The Titans won the turnover battle 4-1, but were only able to score 6 points off of those turnovers, and the Titans also had 13 penalties in the game that resulted in 131 yards of negative plays. Next up for the Titans is a home game at Nissan Stadium next Sunday as they host Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams at 12 p.m. Other scores around the NFL yesterday. The Indianapolis Colts blow out the Miami Dolphins 33-8 in Indianapolis. The Jacksonville Jaguars take care of the Carolina Panthers 26-10 in Jacksonville. The Houston Texans fall 14-9 to the LA Rams in Los Angeles. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Atlanta Falcons 23-20 in Atlanta as Baker Mayfield to Emeka Egbuka touchdown secured it late. And the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football come back from down 15 points with 4 minutes to play to beat the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo 41-40 on a Matt Prater 32-yard last-second field goal. And the Tennessee Vols set a school record Saturday for most points scored in a game as they beat ETSU 72-17. The AP poll was released yesterday, and the Vols moved up 7 spots to the number 15th ranked team in the country. Next up is next Saturday. The Vols host number 6 Georgia Bulldogs in Knoxville with the 2:30 p.m. Central Time kick. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Monday morning to you on a Reaction Monday for the very first time in the 2025 Tennessee Titans season. Welcome in to Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. Locally owned near you, Scooters Coffee in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. The Tennessee Titans force 4 turnovers but cannot turn them into enough points. Denver 20, Tennessee 12 in week 1. Our only guest this morning is you. 615-737-1045 is our number. Justin Hawkins at the controls, NFL veteran and Vol for life, Ramon Foster with me. I'm Will Bowling. Streaming live on 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon Foster, good morning.
Good morning, man. How are you?
Good.
Welcome back to Tennessee.
Be back. Excited to be here.
Yes. Excited to have you back, man. First experience for you personally before we dive into these phone calls and everything else.
Very fun.
Pretty cool.
Very good time. Very cool. A lot of pinch me kind of things. We'll get to that later in the show when we've addressed everything that needed to be addressed on the field. But very cool first trip in... What's happening?
That's me. I thought I had my volume down on my iPad. Doofus, that is a demerit.
What a way to start.
Very cool experience. Woo. Very cool experience. Okay. Excited to be on the team this year and thought it was a fun first broadcast.
I did too. I thought you guys did really good, man. It sounded awesome. Taylor had a lot of energy, which is super appreciative, man. The back and forth was good. I enjoyed the content. Y'all, it was pretty solid, man. I got to give it to you. It absolutely was. I enjoyed it. Denver was cool. I'm sure it was. But a game was played yesterday.
It was played, and you felt like 2 phases of your football team were improved. And unfortunately, the offense was not. 20-12, the final, in a loud and raucous environment. You created the turnovers you felt like you needed to create. You made 2 major plays in the secondary to give yourself major plus territory drives. One on a muffed punt for the best punt returner and kick returner in football. The other from a 70-yard Chimere DK return. There's clock management to talk about. There's Rulebook to talk about. There's Cam Ward and an offensive line that ultimately was not good enough to win you the football game. Ramon Foster, what was your number 1 takeaway from yesterday's loss to the Denver Broncos?
Too much growth for this team to have, for the Titans to have to go up against a team like that. That was my main takeaway was, yep, you see the differences. You see that defense finally show up. I got to give it to the Titans defense. But what I took away was, to your point, a lot of growth, meaning the play calling at certain times, the decision-making or non-decision-making as it pertains to one elbow, one butt cheek, two hands, 2 feet. We'll get into that, I'm sure, at some point also when catching footballs. And then, like I said, too much growth to be had because the bend but don't break. The Titans finally let the dam open, and that's what good teams do. It reminded me, to be honest with you, of the way Bill Belichick would just sit and wait and prance on you whenever you had a chink in your armor a little bit. That's what yesterday looked like for me because the defense stood. I feel like plays were there to be had. And also, I'm sure people want to cut Calvin Ridley the same way they did Van Jefferson in the preseason because of a missed tip ball, too. So, a lot. Too much growth to be had, Will, to compete.
Unfortunately, the Titans did some good things, but did not manage this football game well enough. An end-of-half situation of the first half where the Tennessee Titans have just under 50 seconds, a pair of timeouts, and they throw the ball 3 times in a row. 9 seconds lapses off the clock. It results in 7 points for Denver after getting the ball in very plus territory. Game was mismanaged in that moment. And on 1st and 20 at the end of the third quarter, a long ball to Elikiah Manor should have been challenged. We'll get to the answer that Brian Callahan made about why he did not challenge it. But unfortunately, Ramon, to the conversation we had this week about the sins, self-inflicted negatives. They talked the talk on that in preseason, and unfortunately, in game 1 on this Sunday, they did not walk the walk. And I think that's what's most disappointing for Brian Callahan, his staff, and his team is that they felt like they had done enough to address the penalties and the mental mistakes that cover up the good in a 4-quarter game. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, that's where this team was yesterday. 13 penalties for 131 yards. They only totaled 133 total net yards on offense. In the second half, they ran 27 plays for 30 yards of total offense. Now, that's a really good defense over there. And we gave the caveat last week that if things look really bad on offense, a lot of that has to do with the defense you're playing. Mm-hmm. So until we make major conclusions about this offense and what it means for this team over the course of the entire season, we've got to see this offense play against other defenses. Thankfully, we're going to have 16 other opportunities to do that. But on this day, in week 1, on this Sunday, the Titans did not follow through on a lot of the things they preached were better this offseason. And today, that's all that means. In week 1, you didn't walk the walk in the way that you said you would like to do in preseason.
Yep. And that's the difference. We had this conversation before the season kicked off. It's one thing to have a real good preseason and no penalties and the offense is efficient, but that's a different group of players that you're playing against. When the regular season kicks off, there's a level of intensity that amplifies just a little bit more. And I felt like we saw that from the Denver defense. I will also say this. I feel like we saw that from the Titans defense. You just didn't get the proper response that you thought you should have gotten from the management of this game, the plays that should have and could have been made at times too. And I'll add to that too. I think the attempt to everything that they wanted to happen going into this game was somewhat there. I thought they wanted Cam to be good with his arm on the sideline. I thought they wanted to run the ball and couldn't. It's, again, to your point a second ago, that team, that defense was good. They got a coach that understood scenarios. And when you have, as you said just a second ago, the sins, the self-inflicted negatives, the team isn't in a spot to have those type of situation to get over it. I was looking at the breakdown of it again last night, and I was looking at the amount of plays that the Titans ran. Offensively, they ran 55 plays. You either are a team that is getting the short field, right, because your defense is turned over, which they did, or the opposing defense is getting you three and outs, or turnovers are happening. And a little bit of that was happening throughout the course of that game, man. A lot of finger pointing. I'm sure a lot of people are upset and mad about this game. 4 turnovers, short field. You're supposed to cash in a touchdown on 1 or 2 of those minimum. And that in itself, to have a shutout, meaning no touchdown scored, And game one, with your number 1 overall pick at quarterback, that sucks. He acknowledged that too. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was super unique hearing him say, we got to score a touchdown.
Right.
This is a tough league, man. And I'm not saying that that's any excuse just because it's a tough league. That short field that they had numerous times was it was disheartening to not have that be paid off.
100%. And, I mean, you look at where drives began for the Titans in Denver territory. With 7:03 left in the second quarter, they started in the Denver 38, on the Denver 38. With 16 seconds left, they started on the Denver 24, really 2 seconds left, because that's when the field goal by Joey Sly was after Chimere Dike's long return. I mean, they started the 26 after another interception. They started the 24 after the muffed punt, and they start on the 46 after another good change of possessions. I mean, you got to get more points out of so many short fields. And this team, we felt like last season, was put behind the 8 ball by their special teams unit and sometimes by their defense, and didn't have a chance because they were so often just pinned back. They weren't creating enough turnovers, and special teams was giving up so many big returns to just flip the field position. Wasn't the case yesterday.
No, it was not.
And I think that is where today is challenging for Titans fans, and I'm with you. I get all of you, because if you had given us a 20-12 loss to the Denver Broncos last week going into this game, I think this fan base as a whole would have said, yeah, that's about right. Okay. But it's the way that it happened. You felt like you did a lot of the non-negotiables to win the football game, and ultimately you did not manage the game well enough to strike while the iron was hot and win it. That's what's frustrating. You snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. And I don't blame anyone for being upset about that this morning. Because the other thing, too, about this, Ramon, is you felt like the quarterback position was a plus. We're going to talk about Cam Ward. We're going to talk about the offense. I understand the frustration. That being said, conversations about firing the head coach right now are remarkably premature and I think ridiculous. You're not ridiculous people. You're not dumb people. I think that is a ridiculous conversation to have today. And we'll talk about that next. 615-737-1045 is the number. Live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. More reaction and your phone calls. 615-737-1045 on Titans-Broncos next.
Man, I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign, and it was sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, and I do mean that, man. The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustrations, they settled for less than they'd hoped. The second homeowner, they chose Orchard and got more. The local Orchard agent didn't just list the home. They marketed the home also. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all of the hassles and showings too. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home. And even before your old home sells. Start with the free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
both ways, nothing open, tries to get out of there, dumps it off at the last minute, and it's caught by Pollard. Pollard's got space. He's down the sideline. That's a Titan first down. He's in Denver territory.
Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, a 104.5 The Zone. Visit a locally owned Scooters location near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Our only guest today is you. At 615-737-1045, Titans and Broncos takeaways on this first Reaction Monday of the NFL season. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. So, Ramon, the Titans ran 27 plays for 30 total yards in the second half. You held Bo Nix to 25 of 40 for 176, a pair of interceptions. He connected on just 2 of 7 under pressure attempts through both of his picks when pressured by a Titans defense that pressured him 8 total times. Cam Ward, 12 for 28, 112. He was sacked 6 times with a quarterback rating of 54.5. What concerned you the most about this performance from the Titans?
The third down component of it.
2 of 14.
2 of 14. I thought that was telling. The protection, holding calls, sacks, the pressure that we knew that teams were going to send towards Cam. The other part for me, and you have to say this because you believe in your guy, talking about the style of offense that he was going to run, I felt like Sean Payton and his defense, Vance Joseph, heard that and said, oh, they're going to roll out. And I felt like they absolutely sent blitzes and fire zones towards him in ways to put pressure on Cam. Like, it was sometimes he was rolling out and the defender was already in his face. I thought doing a little bit of that too much when you didn't have the establishment of the run game was a little bit flagrant. I didn't like that component of it also. That was, it wasn't telling, but play action against that team is stopping the run on the way to the quarterback type of defense. And I think we saw that from time to time over the duration of that game. They were getting to the quarterback and stopping the run in their pathway.
Week 1 is often an aberration in the NFL because you don't learn what you really have until the lights come on. And I thought that was the case again yesterday for the Titans on offense, is learning what you can get away with and what this offensive line could hold up with against the defense that led the NFL in sacks last season. What did you make of the Titans' offensive line? How much of the issues yesterday do you think were related to the Broncos just being really dang good or the Titans' offensive line struggling?
I thought the O-line struggled yesterday. I thought there were moments where they could have capitalized on plays being made, but I will also say this too. I don't think the play calling helped from time to time. I do think, like I said, the play action without setting up a consistency of running the football made it unbelievable to what the O-line was trying to do. When you have Cam yesterday, I thought they held onto the ball a tick too longer. Guys couldn't get open. That is the other thing you got to consider when we're talking about, oh, yeah, hey, Cam can throw the ball. Well, guys got to get open. That defense on the other side, the secondary was covering them in ways that after the first 2 series that I don't think they had planned on doing it. So just watching them be in a position where it looked like they was grasping for air and trying to push, it just wasn't working for them as efficiently as I thought it should have in those moments. Again, when you drop back as much as they do or put yourselves in position to where situationally you know you got to get after the quarterback, you set that offensive line up for failure. I did think there were some moments where they could have run it, tight red zone. They didn't get the plays that they wanted to, man, or they didn't get the push that they consistently needed over the course of this game. Losing JC was very problematic. It showed up quickly. Lloyd Cushenberry, I thought, was fine. Dan Moore had the holding call, had pressure on him, and penalties. That was the other part of it. It's hard to play good, efficient football when you have that many penalties as they did yesterday.
Right. The Titans, with Cam Ward going 12 of 28 for 112, averaged 10.9 air yards per attempt. That was the most by any player in an NFL debut since Will Levis, actually, in Week 8 of 2023. So Cam was consistently going long, going deep. There was, Ramon, to me, either the attempts to throw it really short or really long. Mm-hmm. The intermediate passing game was non-existent in this game. And that is where Cam Ward thrived so much in college, was 10 to 20 yard range over the middle of the field. He completed 0 passes between the hash marks yesterday. He was 0 for 2 on passes between the hash marks yesterday. Cam Ward faced a Broncos defense that generated pressure on 8 of their 10 blitzes. Mm-hmm. That is the highest pressure rate the Broncos have generated on blitzes in a single game since at least 2018. When J.C. Latham went out, and he was questionable to come back with a hip injury, I was there in the sideline. He was testing it out. He was doing pass sets. He was trying to come back in. He probably, Ramon, not probably. He stayed in longer than he should have. After the muff punt, he went in for that first down. Titans running up the middle for about 2 yards. Then he immediately came out, slammed his helmet in frustration. He was really, really frustrated on his inability to get in there and be healthy enough to play this football game. After he went out, the Titans immediately gave up 2 sacks in the first 2 plays on 2nd and 3rd down. On the next drive, 8-yard pass to Oliver, incomplete pass, which was intentional grounding on Cam, and then a 5-yard check down, but holding on Skoronski would have negated it anyway, punt. The next drive without Latham, run for no gain, incomplete to DK, incomplete to Ridley. The next drive, the final drive for the Titans, incomplete to Iron Manor, incomplete to Ridley, incomplete to Chiggs, sack, game over. Without J.C. Latham on the field, Cam Ward was 2 for 8, 13 yards, 3 sacks. I mean, this team has a very small margin for error right now. Yeah. And I understand the frustrations of the way this game was managed. I understand that backed up in your own territory at the end of the first half, throwing the ball 3 times in a row, only taking 9 seconds off the clock, that is a mismanagement of the clock and of the game. What Brian Callahan said yesterday, what I will tell you about the way he's going to call games this year, guys, is that, and I'm just being honest with you, Joey Sly's leg changes the way Brian Callahan can call plays. I'm serious. If they had gotten to the minus 45, if they'd gotten to their own 45-yard line, I think they were kicking a field goal. I think they would have potentially, at the end of game situation or end of half situation, challenged for the NFL record for the longest field goal. Ramon, he made a 67-yarder in pregame that would have been good from 75. The Broncos fans were applauding. I'm serious. The Broncos fans were applauding how long he was kicking it. Now, that's not an excuse. I'm simply giving you the reasoning on why the Titans at the end of the first half decided to be as aggressive as they were. To me, my only issue in this situation, Ramon, is the last play call. Because I don't even mind trying to throw short on the first and second plays. Mm-hmm. Cam was frustrated because I believe it was Chig on a screen, went out to block, and he was the receiver. Yeah. And Cam was looking around like, dude, come on. And then on the third play, that's where I have the issue. Because you got to at least make Denver use one of their timeouts. Oh. So I'm not spinning anything. I'm telling you the perspective and letting you formulate your own opinions. That is the reasoning why teams in the NFL in week 1 are figuring out what they can get away with. And when the lights turn on, what do their players actually look like? And it's why week 1 is often very different from the rest of the season, which is why I think firing the coach conversation, Ramon, today is a ridiculous conversation to have.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's going to be spicy all day today. I was listening. It was insane. The position yourself to allow the field goal kicker to kick very long field goals is risky, is what I would say, though. That's my pushback to that one. If I'm building my game plan off the fact that this guy can make 70-yarders in the Denver altitude, I personally think that's no way to really set up a game plan. I like the idea of, being able to push it down the field and have an opportunity. But you also got to be smart. We're talking about a rookie with an offensive line that is rechecking itself or reselling itself when it comes down to them as one, with Lloyd Cushenberry up the middle too, against that defense. I just don't think any of it was smart. I at least need to run it, milk the clock some, and then take a shot to set it up. 3 straight passes, that backed up, and it led to 7 points after the fact. It's the results of it, I think, more than anything. Do I believe Joey Sly can hit a 70-yarder? Absolutely. Do you want to see that to be made? Absolutely. But the ultimate goal is to go win a football game, and that succession of plays right there assisted Denver in winning the football plays after the fact.
I think the other challenging part of that for Brian Callahan and the Titans is that a lot of Cam Ward's best moments in preseason were in 2-minute, no-huddle tempo settings.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, if you could have gotten that first down, that's exactly what you would have been going into. was tempo, get one, and then let's go.
Yeah.
Because that's where Cam thrived in preseason. No one's getting fired in the NFL after week 1. And I get that you guys are mad. I understand that there is a lot of there's a lack of optimism about where this team is headed because you were sold that things were going to be different and they weren't. This looked like last year. Some big mistakes, a lot of penalties. Defense is good, but gets some penalties that ultimately you bend and then you break at the end of the game. The offense is not fun or exciting the way you thought it would be. And now you have an asset in Cam Ward that you feel like is worth tuning into, is worth being there for all 4 quarters. So you want to see growth. It's week 1. It just is, guys. And that does not make it any better. Do I believe that Brian Callahan made some mistakes yesterday that helped the Titans lose this game? Absolutely, I do. I think he would agree with that. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested to hear what his press conference today sounds like and how much personal accountability he takes. But, guys, it is way too early to talk about firing the coach. This team is going to be inconsistent, is going to have some highs, but unfortunately, as young as they are and as many new players as there are, they are going to have some lows. Brian Callahan and this staff have to figure out what can we get away with. Who are our guys when the lights come on? I said that a minute ago, and somebody said, well, that's what preseason's for. Well, it's really not, because preseason is one thing, Ramon. Like, this team had no penalties in preseason, and the lights come on in the regular season, and things change. The crowds change. The atmosphere changes. The amount of starters you have in the game change. The game planning changes. Teams are trying to game plan to beat you based on what you don't do well. It's not vanilla. So, yes, preseason teaches you some things. It does not teach you everything. We have got to see how this staff, how this roster responds to what went wrong yesterday in practice this week and on the field on Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams. 615-737-1045. Blake in Florida leads us off.
Hey, guys. Appreciate y'all having me on. I just want to put it plainly. That's he needs to – they need to address a lot of stuff on the coaching and getting these guys, held accountable for all these things that, like the holding calls, all the different penalties. I mean, we're just seeing it all carry over again from last year. I mean, new people, same results. But he ain't going to get fired this year, but I'm going to put it out here plainly. We're not done looking for our head coach. I mean, he hasn't done nothing to impress me at this point. But I'm just going to toss it back to you guys and hope for the best, man.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for the call, Blake.
There's going to be a lot of this just on the basis of Cam. Like, Cam didn't look like what you needed him to look to, what you wanted him to look like yesterday. And I can't blame this fan base for thinking that either. I can't blame this fan base for expecting more when you dealt with what you did last year between Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. Cam didn't have those flagrant type of plays, but those bad plays showed up yesterday with the idea of this team not scoring any touchdowns. Like, we're talking about offensively, that was a shutout. And the thing that sucks for Callahan is this. The offense is his baby. If Cam sucks, if the run game doesn't look good,
I get it.
Sacks happen, that's your baby. And last year you had to deal with Will Levis and Mason, but this year you got the numero uno at the quarterback position coming out of the draft, and you've seen how dynamic he is, and you also saw how much better he made the University of Miami football team, more relevant than they've been since this year. That's his biggest issue. That is the bulldozers piling dirt piles up around him, and he better find a way out of this quickly. It's the biggest issue that he has.
That is the challenge, is that as an offensive head coach, your offense – unfortunately, put up 27 plays for 30 yards in the second half. Hard life to live. Eric is up next. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys. Bill, I just wanted to agree with what you said. Brian Callahan's not going to do anything at this point. I agree. Can't say that after week 1. But I will say this. I was surprised that Taylor in the post-game show interview didn't ask him what was the thought process before the half, because we should have been up 6-3, and I'll leave it at that. But it's like with the penalties, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Cam Ward had a huge run that was called back because of a penalty. We should have had second and short, got backed up 5 yards, and Pollard fumbles the next play. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons, a couple of penalties, encroachment, and then the roughing penalty late in the game. The 4 turnovers, and we only get 6 points. It's just frustrating week after week after week that you see this stuff. And do you think, guys, it's just more on the players or more on the coaches with the penalties? Is it just so frustrating to see all that? I'll hang up. I'll be at the game Sunday, guys. Y'all take care. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Eric.
Go Titans.
Appreciate the call. More the players or coaches for you, Ramon, on penalties?
A little bit of both, because the response that Jarvis Brownlee had was not professional.
Yeah, Jarvis Brownlee in the locker room postgame was asked about, do games like this encourage you to play a little bit differently? And I'm paraphrasing, said, I am who I am.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay, there's an adjustment that you have to make as a pro. That is what you did in year one won't satisfy me in year 2. That's what he has to recognize right there. I think that he probably had potentially another one, a DPI down the field later in the game. And it's one of those situations where we've had Savage say, well, they can't call every single one of them if I'm playing this style. But here's the thing. You will get a reputation that'll hurt you early on in your career or hurt you throughout the course of the game. That's the issue that Roger McCreary has right now. He can't be that handsy. Respectfully, I say this. He ain't got the reputation of being a lockdown guy to be that handsy. I thought Patrick Surtain was very pushy and close to the wide receiver this past weekend. But he's got a reputation of being a lockdown guy because he's Defensive Player of the Year. That's different. Roger can't do that type of stuff.
I thought that the referee crew, Brad Allen, also had a part to play in the penalties being so much, for lack of a better term. I mean, I thought the personal foul on Jeffrey Simmons at the end of the game was incredibly soft. Incredibly soft. I was down there on that field. I could hear how loud it was, also how difficult it was to hear the whistle. But the consistent thing is that when you play this style of defense, Ramon, that's the price you're going to have to pay. When you are that aggressive and that physical, you're going to get more illegal contacts. You're going to get more defensive holdings. You're going to have more 15-yard penalties through the echo of the whistle. I'll take that trade-off, though, because of how well that defense played yesterday. Because that defense played well enough to win you the football game. So, yes, should Jeffrey Simmons know better than to get that penalty at the end of the game? Yeah, you can't put yourself and the referee in the position to make that call in that moment. But that's what comes with Jeffrey Simmons, who had 4 of the 8 pressures that you had as an entire defense yesterday. So if that's the trade-off I have to take, so be it. Is it frustrating? Yeah, absolutely it is. But I have a hard time putting any of this on the defense yesterday. Any of it.
I told you before, I ride with Jeff. I like what he is and what he means to this team.
I'm right there with you.
It's 2 things that's bothersome about that for me with Jeff. Jeff has the reputation of it.
He does.
And y'all didn't hear it in the stadium, but the TV copy was loud and the referee was right there. He saw Cody.
No, there's no excuse.
The optics of it is not forgiving to Jeffrey Simmons at all on that one.
I would say, too, though, Cody Barton was right there as well. And if Jeffrey Simmons gets the blame, they said 98, 50 was right there, too.
But it's the push at the end when he's already wrapped up and the ref's arm was in the air. Plays dead at that point. He was spotting it down. Jeff can't have that happen. It's his reputation. Number one, that he's got to clean that up. And then it's the other penalties that he had, too. He jumped off sides, gave Denver a first down. When you live that life on the edge like that, as he does, they watch it. And you know what? The offensive linemen, tell them, hey, 98's on the other side, because I did those types of things when we had those edgy type of dudes too. He's got to understand there is a target, and he acknowledged it after the game too. He took ownership of that. He said he can't do dumb crap.
No, there's no excuse. It can't happen.
No. And then on the other part of it too, he's got to find himself out of those situations. Not that he needs to be docile and he needs to just be calm, but it is the other side for him where he's over there in the Denver sideline. I mean, on the Denver side, chirping with Bo Nix. I'm just like, it just adds to it. It just adds to it. And at some point, he got to go start bringing care packages to the referees or something.
There's no excuse. It can't happen. It's still very far down the list for me of reasons why the Titans lost this game. And I just have a hard time putting most of the blame on that play or any other play the defense made. they and special teams were good enough to win this football game. Your phone calls next, 615-737-1045 as Ramon and Will wraps up hour one after this. Ramona Willow, 104.5. The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee. Wrap it up hour one. Your thoughts at 615-737-1045. Yesterday, it looked like Elikiah Manor got a catch on 1st and 20. It was not challenged. Brian Callahan explained why, and we're going to hear that audio coming up in 15 minutes. Big conversation out of yesterday, the rule book, the mistake that Brian Callahan made. We will talk about it. But first, we go to your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Andy is in Clarksville.
That was the perfect song coming out of the break. I was actually even thinking that yesterday after the game with that song because my son's a big fan of that artist. So, we're going to be all right. I can't believe how many times on Twitter, and that was my fault going on Twitter right after the game, my fault completely, and I was having to tell people to calm their tidbits. They were just a little bit too hasty in their reactions, and it reminds me of when my son was little and I wanted him to be passionate about football. I even started at 3 months old holding him in my hands while the game's on. Of course, he falls asleep, and so I couldn't yell, "Come on, what were you thinking? Is that what you're going to do?" Because I didn't want to wake up the baby. So maybe Titans fans, let's not wake up the baby. Let's wait till, we've had a chance to count to 10. I feel like I'm talking to a kindergartner sometimes. But, hey, passionate fans, we love your passion. Just maybe hold the reaction. We're going to be all right. Like Coach Mack says, you don't do IE, instant evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
It's week one.
Wow.
It's week one.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate the call.
Andy with some positivity. I'm a little shocked.
Optimism.
I'm a little shocked.
Next to Dante. What's up, Dante?
Morning, Dante. Paging Dante.
Dante, you're there.
Put it on mute.
All right, we got enough people on hold. Mike is in Nashville. What's up, Mike?
Morning, Mike.
Hey, morning, guys. So completely agree with Will's take and the last caller's take of overreacting, and it's only week one with Callahan. But I do want to kind of just throw a different perspective out there, though. Most coaching, in the NFL, if it doesn't work out, it's about a 3-year relationship at most, even shorter now. So I apply that to just imagine if you were dating someone, if Callahan project doesn't work out, we are halfway through our time with Callahan already. And a lot of times when relationships don't work out, you can look back and you can go, you know what? About halfway through it, or before that, there was a lot of signs. And so, last year it was he didn't have the supporting cast. He didn't have the quarterback. And I know it's only been what it's only been. But, we're sitting here, we're seeing the same bonehead decisions, great effort by Cam Ward. He can't throw it and catch it. But the play calling and the decision making, I'm sitting here thinking this guy does not have it as a coach. So we don't need to overreact, but we also need to see signs. If we're halfway through our relationship with our girl and she's still going out to the club every night, we need to take note of that. We need to take note of that.
She's on the streets.
And if last year she was going out to the club because she said all her friends were single and she didn't have the right supporting cast, and now all your friends are engaged and married and you're still the one going out to the club, still making the bad decisions for everybody to see, there's something there. Yeah. There's something there. So I agree. We don't need to overreact. We don't need to fire him after week one. But we also just don't need to sit at home and go, okay, sweetie, go on out to the club. I hope you have a good time tonight. We need to take note of this.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the call.
Mike.
Need to see signs. I agree. You do need to see signs. And we talked about this. It's a great way to compare it.
Great way to compare it, Mike.
That is the discussion we had a few weeks ago, Ramon, when Teron Davenport and Jeremy Fowler's piece came out at ESPN.com saying that the organization decided against cleaning house over the offseason, and they feel like continuity is really important and that Brian Callahan and his staff will be given time as long as they see some progress. So we asked that question. Hey, how do you see progress? Game management was the number one answer that we gave, is when you have the opportunity to make a big decision on how are you going to manage this game? Are you going to throw it 3 times in a row, backed up? Are you going to challenge the right plays? Unfortunately for Brian Callahan, he did not get off on the right foot yesterday. He didn't manage the game very well. The coaching staff could have done a better job putting this offense and the defense in a position to be successful. I didn't have as big of an issue with a lot of the play calls themselves, but I did feel like the management in 2 big moments, backed up in your own goal line at the end of the first half and throwing it 3 straight times and only letting 9 seconds elapse, and not challenging a 1st and 20 throw to Elikai Manor on the sideline where he got an elbow in, are 2 big mistakes by the head coach. And I think that it'll be really interesting to hear how he expresses accountability or reasoning for what happened after now watching the film today when he speaks with the media.
His issue was the defensive coordinator looked better than what the offensive play caller did yesterday. That's the problem. This is supposed to be his baby. Like, you want it, like, Cam ain't supposed to be great, but you're supposed to have saw something from this offense, some variety, some abilities down the field. And I thought the first quarter, whether that was on the script or not, you saw some of that. After the fumble happened with Tony Pollard, it kind of sputtered, and where's your adjustment? There was no adjustment, I felt like, over the course of that. I know a lot of people probably would say, too, well, it was an adjustment if Cam had to hit his guys. I have a statement on that one a little bit later, too, when we get to that conversation. Well, I'll say it right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Cam has a nice football that he throws. Cam tries to not put the ball in harm's way. Cam's got to find more touch on his passes. The same pass that he threw to Van Jefferson in Atlanta was the same one that he threw to Calvin Ridley yesterday. That has to be what we like to call in football catchable balls thrown in those vicinities. I don't know, a lot of people are going to say, well, if it touched their hands, they're supposed to catch it. I'll tell you this. If Calvin really had caught the ball across the middle that Cam threw to him that was high and hard up top, Calvin Ridley was going to the hospital. Now, that's that side of it. They got to get on the same page, which is what we thought they were doing, and it's also game 1. But there is ownership to be given to all parties, including Cam in this type of situation too. A few of his footballs that he threw was hot. There's got to be a little bit more touch. Now, here's what I said. That's growth. That's coachable. That's teachable. That's a field thing. But Calvin was going to the hospital yesterday.
Jay on YouTube says Restrepo would have caught those.
Stop. Restrepo didn't make the 53-man roster. Period.
Coming up, there was one big mistake that Brian Callahan made yesterday. His explanation on a rule that we feel he interpreted incorrectly. Coming up next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. If you have been listening to the show at the start of football season, you know about my new obsession, Daisy French onion dip. Yeah, this time of year, we're doing a lot of eating in parking lots. We're doing a lot of eating with screens in front of us. You need the right dip in your life for football season, and I'm here to tell you that Daisy French onion dip is that dip. It is the dip of my football season. Daisy has come out with this delicious Daisy French onion dip, Daisy ranch dip as well. Telling you, these are a game changer. As delicious as a homemade dip, if you bring them to the tailgate, everyone's going to think you made it themselves or made it yourself. Made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. So go find some. Grocery stores all around you, they've got it. Check it out. That's Daisy French onion dip at a local grocery store near you.
It is 7:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall 20-12 to the Denver Broncos in Mile High yesterday and start the season 0-1. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward in his NFL debut threw for just 112 yards and completed just 12 of his 28 passing attempts. The Titans on offense gave up 6 sacks on the day, but the Titans defense were able to get just 1 sack on Broncos quarterback Bo Nix thanks to defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. The Titans won the turnover battle 4-1, but were only able to score just 6 points off of those turnovers, and the Titans also had 13 penalties in the game, resulting in 131 yards of negative plays. Today, head coach Brian Callahan will speak to the media at 12:30. Other scores around the NFL yesterday: the Indianapolis Colts blow out the Miami Dolphins 33-8 in Indianapolis. The Jacksonville Jaguars take care of the Carolina Panthers 26-10 in Jacksonville. The Houston Texans fall 14-9 to the LA Rams in Los Angeles. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Atlanta Falcons 23-20 in Atlanta as Baker Mayfield to Emeka Egbuka touchdown secured it late. And the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football come back from down 15 points with 4 minutes to play to beat the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo 41-40 on a Matt Prater 32-yard last-second field goal. And the Tennessee Vols, they set a new school record Saturday for most points scored in a game as they beat ETSU 72-17. The AP poll was released yesterday, and the Vols have moved up 7 spots to the number 15 ranked team in the country. Next up, the Vols host number 6 Georgia Bulldogs in Knoxville this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you've got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will into hour number 2 is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045, the number. He is Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins, our producer. Our only guest this morning is you. Wide open phone lines all day long. Here at 104.5 The Zone, starting with us on Ramona and Will, 615-737-1045. Coming up in 15 minutes, we're going to talk about Cam Ward's debut. The good, the bad, the controllables, and the uncontrollables from his first game in the regular season as the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, in which the Titans lose to the Denver Broncos 20-12, and the offense goes 27 plays for 30 yards of total offense in the second half hour. Ramon, Brian Callahan made a big mistake yesterday according to our interpretation of the rulebook. He said post-game that Elikiah Manner's sideline catch on 1st and 20 in the third quarter required an elbow inbounds and a foot. This was the Titans head coach speaking with the media after yesterday's loss.
Yeah, you got to get a foot inbounds too, which we didn't have a clean look at whether his foot was down as well. An elbow doesn't equal 2 feet, so his foot would have had to come down as well. We didn't have a clean look, so the call from upstairs was that it wasn't worth challenging.
From the rule book, Ramon, a forward pass is complete by the offense or intercepted by the defense at the field of play at the sideline or in the end zone if a player who is inbounds, A, secures control of the ball in his hands or arms prior to the ball touching the ground, and touches the ground inbounds with both feet or with any part of his body other than his hands, and after A and B have been fulfilled, clearly performs any act common to the game, extend the ball forward, take an additional step, tuck the ball away, and turn upfield, or avoid or ward off an opponent, or he maintains control of the ball long enough to do so.
Callie should know that one. Or he got bad information. It's a lot going on. He should know that one. I feel like everybody knows one butt cheek, one knee, one elbow, one forearm even. Think about when running backs are running into the goal line, to the end zone, and that forearm touches. He's down. 2 feet is, I guess, because of, I don't know why they do 2 feet is different than everything else as opposed to what college has going on. But that is the rule I feel like most know. I feel like that is a rule that either they didn't get the replay quick enough or somebody upstairs was young and sent him that type of information right there. He's been in the league. He's an NFL baby. He's a football kid. I would have expected him to have known that one 100%. even if that guy was wrong, like, he should have known that one. That's where, speaking of how Callahan continues to coach as a head coach here for the Tennessee Titans, that type of stuff right there has to be where he wins the fans over and win possessions over. The operation and flow of the game and decision-making was I think that knocked him. And hearing his explanation at the podium, that didn't help his cause at all either.
It's a mistake. It's a play that should have been challenged, in my opinion, and there's really no way to spin this in a way that is positive for the coaching staff. It's a miss.
It's a miss.
It is a miss. Brian Callahan, in our interpretation of that rule and for how we understand it, got it wrong. I'm very interested to hear how he answers questions about this today at 12:30 when he meets with the media. You can hear that live on the Buck Rising show, by the way. It's a miss. There's no other way around it. And when we talk about ways that this staff can earn their keep and can earn trust of the fan base, they have to manage moments like this better. And just like players who are going to have to learn on the job and improve, it was Aditi Kinkhabwala on this show earlier this summer who made that point of, like, coaches need to be afforded the opportunity to learn and grow from their mistakes the same way that players do. And I agree with that. This was a big mistake that, I don't know, Ramon, if it changes the outcome of the game, I would have at least liked to have seen how the Titans could have taken advantage of that. Because that's the beauty of what you have in Cam Ward is you feel like even when you get behind the sticks and 1st and 20, you have a playmaker at quarterback that can go hunt and get it back. And unfortunately, a throw that he made and a really great effort that Elikai Manor made to bring down that football, we'll never know what the benefits and what the next steps of that drive could have been.
It just, you're forever in this type of situation chasing the ghosts of coaches past, too. That's the other part that sucks about this, because I do think the Mike Vrabel conversation has gone down, but I see people saying Vrabel wouldn't have missed that one on the rules.
It's true.
That's the problem.
615-737-1045. Roy is up next. What's up, Roy?
What's up, guys? We can all talk about the negative things. I mean, first game of the week, we go up to a opponent that has a really good defense, and it seems like we just shot ourselves in the foot with a lot of veterans getting flags thrown on him. And Brownlee, he just had a terrible day yesterday, and probably should have had more flags thrown on him because he kept on. After he's getting flags thrown at him for holding and pass interference, he just kept on doing it. Just wild. But, the things we saw that we can take, it's gotten better. We know Joey Sly can kick field goals. And we also know Bo Fossil is a real good special teams coach. I'll hang up and listen. And on the next week, we got Matthew Stafford coming in there. We got to clean up those penalties. Tighten them.
Thank you, Roy.
Yeah.
While I do agree that Jarvis Brownlee has to make adjustments, again, I just have a hard time putting any part of this on the defense. I mean, the defense played well enough to win. Because what is the other side of those penalties? You're playing a really tight man defense at times that there are a lot of passes that don't even get thrown towards Jarvis Brownlee because of how good his coverage is. So, yeah, there are too many penalties. I'm not going to disagree with you. But that defense, even with those penalties, was still good enough to win this football game. And for this game, Sunday, it's not the case every week. For this game, I just have a hard time putting Jarvis Brownlee penalties anywhere close to the biggest reasons why this football game was lost.
Yeah. It's just that Jarvis is going to create a reputation for himself that he don't want to have as a cornerback in this league, though, too. The fire that he plays with is amazing. The ability to be as young as he is, to be up on guys like he has, is good. But there is a level of correction that has to happen. Like, that's what film is for. He may have said that publicly to whoever asked him those questions, just say Jarvis Brownlee, that is, well, my game is my game. Internally inside of that building, I'd expect his DB coach to be like, hey, if you don't cut this out, you're going to cause us issues. Now, to your point, the defense helped assist them in how aggressive they were playing. The defense made plays and gave them the short field and stopped them at times to where that offense and Bo Nix, other than his first drive, was moot. Like, it was nothing, man. Bo looked to me like the guy that started off the season last year in the first half of that game. They just continued to gain more air. The fire built up a little bit higher, and the Titans cracked over the course of that game more than what Denver did in those moments. But again, you had Sean Payton, who seemed to have been easy. You had a right tackle in J.C. Latham that went out in this game, and Sean Payton and his defense and Vance Joseph absolutely knew there was blood in the water when it came down to how they attacked them at that moment. It was, again, the way they had Femi Oladejo all up in Bo Nix's face. Like, the defense did its part. Special teams did its part. I was nervous about what Chimere DK was going to do as far as returning the football. He was an asset, not a liability this past weekend.
He's a weapon, yeah.
He was a weapon 100%. But again, you look at these situations and you say to yourself, why didn't you win? Offense. And then the penalty side of it, like, yeah, the defense assisted in a crap ton of ways when it comes down to how they were able to keep that offense back.
Right.
But when you look at the comparison of penalty yards, which is a reflection of the head coach and how he manages his team.
131 penalty yards.
And 135 offensive yards. That don't mix. That's like oil and water right there.
Can't happen. It can't happen, and I think the thing Brownlee's got to realize is if he keeps answering questions at press conferences like, oh, I am who I am, those side judges do their homework as well. Those officiating crews do their homework as well. You got to do yourself some favors with crews like Brad Allen, who you know are going to throw a certain type of flag at certain points. Like, Ramon, how much would you guys scout the refs?
Oh, my.
In meeting rooms in the week and know what you could or couldn't get away with?
Plenty. We'd acknowledge hands, Munch will walk in there, and Coach Kugler, hands have to be tight this week. If he's on your edge, let him go. Like that. Or the DBs or the coach, the ones that call the touchiness as far as physicality on the outside for the defensive backs. That's a part of it, too. Like, each crew has its thing.
Commenter on YouTube says Brownlee might get cut. No. No. He's not going to get cut. Him and that secondary played well enough to win the game. Who else you going to put in there? I mean, he also got hurt at the end of that game yesterday. L'Jarius Sneed's on a pitch count, which we're going to talk about. I mean, there's a non-zero chance that Marcus Harris and Darrell Baker are your two outside corners for a lot of this game on Sunday against the Rams, depending on Brownlee's availability and Sneed's workload. Jarvis Brownlee's not getting cut. Jarvis Brownlee's one of the best young players you have on this football team. You take the good with the bad with this defense right now. I don't think I'm being too lenient on them. Yes, he's got a reputation. Yes, the penalties have to get cleaned up. The defense played well enough to win the game. I'm not worried about the defense right now. Yesterday, that defense was fine. The offense having less total yards than penalty yards is something we got to get figured out. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we got calls, but I do see something that's super unique, though, too. Somebody in the chat said if Brownlee's playing for the Baltimore Ravens, he wouldn't get those calls. I somewhat agree with that. I do. I know a guy specifically in Cam Hayward that plays exactly like Jeff does. He get away with a little bit more.
You got to earn the benefit of the doubt.
That's the point. And then there's more accountability on that side of it too.
Right. Like,
that's the other part for Jeff to me that's fascinating. We speak about like his moments that he has. Like, who is on the same level as Jeff when it comes down to being able to hold him accountable and call him out on that type of madness that he has from time to time. And that reputation is accepted when you win big too. Like, and that's the difference. Like, it ain't no excuse making when it come down to, hey, you got to be clean. You got to be a better player. You want to be great at all the things you're attempting to do.
Yeah.
But I will acknowledge, we know that Tom Brady got calls that many other quarterbacks didn't get, right? We know that Peyton got them, right? I think yesterday watching the Pittsburgh game, Aaron Rodgers got a call. I was just like, ooh, Ben never got that one. But, like, you got to earn those types of things. And you do got to play the politic game on how you change the narrative of what you are as a player. And those penalties got to get cleaned up for a guy that doesn't have much stock in this league. He ain't got that much tape to be saying, I am who I am at this point. Respectfully. He ain't even invested yet.
Brandon on YouTube says Callahan lying about a pitch count is an issue. He's not lying about L'Jarius Sneed's pitch count. We told you last week, building up to the game, L'Jarius Sneed was going to have a pitch count. As injured as he's been, there is no reason to throw him out to a full workload. Now, could they have picked the moments for him to have a lot of those snaps better? Yes. I'll give you that. But I can tell you because I was on the sideline, L'Jarius Sneed never received medical treatment on the sideline. He had his helmet in his hand, standing at the edge of the sideline or sitting on the bench with teammates the whole time. This was very clearly a plan of when and when not to get him out on the field. I think they could have chosen their moments a little bit better. But again, you don't have the foresight of knowing, hey, we need to hold him back on this drive because later we know that we're going to need to get a stop here. Like, it's kind of an impossible situation. But yes, he was absolutely on a pitch count. Coming up, how do you grade Cam Ward's regular season debut? We'll try next. Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, it's Will Boulding. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Just imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and desire to have it back, then Advanced Hair Restoration has the easiest guaranteed solution. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it, all right? They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated doctors, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it to grow for life. So you don't have to worry about, hey, will it stop? Absolutely not. Guarantees it for life. So schedule your free consultation now. Their number is 629-348-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and they are the team I personally recommend. So don't wait. Check out the befores and afters online. The number is 629-348-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Hey, it's Will Boulding. Are you having home electrical issues? Well, available 24/7. The Lee Company team handles electrical problems and more in short order. From routine repairs on outlets and switches to fixture upgrades and generator installations, their award-winning electricians will get the job done right the first time. Contact Lee Company for all your home electrical needs at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for all your home's electrical needs with an experienced electrician. Look, 615-567-1000 is the number for folks that have got 80 years of experience serving Middle Tennessee. Lee Company is a staple here in Middle Tennessee. You've probably seen their fleet of vehicles driving around. They're open 24/7, meaning that when there's a problem, they can get things addressed quickly and efficiently. Check them out online at leecompany.com. Call them at 615-567-1000. Lee Company, all you need.
Nixon in empty backfield takes a shot on snap. Now drifts over to the left against the spot. He steps up, throws downfield, intercepted. It was read perfectly by Roger McCreary. McCreary gets the Titans' first turnover of the year.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee on this Monday morning. 615-737-1045. How you jump in? Our only guest this morning is you here in the F&M Bank chat as well. If you don't want to wait in line to get on the show, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, where you can stream us. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, Twitter, or Twitch, we invite you to head to the 1045 The Zone YouTube channel. That is where the vast majority of our comments, our community resides. And even if they don't like me this morning, we're happy they're there. That's okay.
You know what?
Don't have to like me. Just have to like the show.
I guess I'll just put you and Callie in the same boat together then.
I think that's the case today. That's okay.
Yeah.
Eric is up next. 615-737-1045. Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Good. Come on in.
Man, it's been a minute. I ain't called y'all since last year.
Welcome back.
What the heck?
Hey, Ramon, you got to stop these hair commercials, man. Anybody getting their hair back unless they go to Turkey, man.
Listen, Eric, Advanced Hair Restoration got it done, man. Go look at the befores and after, Eric.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I know, hey, listen, man. Listen. Hey, okay, real quick, let me get up. I know we got a line.
Yeah.
So, I get the penalty. Like, I don't know. I lost my words. Okay, the penalty was my issue. The long plays, I felt like when Latham went out was an issue for me. But Will, man, rookie quarterback at your own end zone. I get the kicker got a leg and all that. Rookie quarterback, you got to go in the halftime 6-3. The biggest thing was Bo Nix throwing a touchdown pass and gaining that confidence. This defense was so fun to watch yesterday. Like, I was like, yo, this defense is, man, and you give Bo Nix that confidence. And I know the defense still played good in the second half to me to win this. I'm with you on that. I didn't put it on none of the defense like that. The penalties, yes, crazy. I love how Jeffrey Simmons was just playing nasty, though. And then with the corner, he going to get more penalties. He ain't getting cut. That dude's talented, but he just has to, you know what I'm saying, be up, like he gets too excited or like surprised. Like, I don't know what it is, but he going to find it, and he's going to be a dog. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I'm going to end with this because Ramon said the Vrabel talks are down, so I wanted to be the guy. I called y'all a year or two ago. I said, when we fire Mike Vrabel, we're going to be looking for a head coach every 2 years. Us fans can endure watching Cam grow up and grow into because he's going to be special. But I don't think we'll be able to deal with something like, I didn't know that in the rule book with the penalty,
right?
Or go ahead and take this run the ball, run the clock, make them use their 2 timeouts. Those type of things with a young team, you got to go in the halftime. I don't think we'll be able to deal with that and take that into the new stadium. So I think that week 6, Mike Vrabel come to town. If they beat us, Callahan going to be let go.
At least publicly.
I hope you have a great day.
Publicly.
You said what?
I said publicly.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate the call.
Publicly.
What do you mean publicly?
The fan. Publicly by the fan base.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. By Eric's point, I think was towards the fan base. Like, it was for the front office.
Predicting it.
Yeah, he was predicting it.
How do you grade Cam Ward yesterday, Ramon? I think you're a little lower on his performance than most people I've seen, including myself.
Yeah, just a little bit because the wire. I said this last week. No matter when I said it. Cam has this bulletproof aura around him. It's hard for anybody to critique him. It's hard for anybody to correct something that he's done wrong. He was at fault too yesterday. And the wide receivers, I would agree, the wide receivers that you have aren't in the same conversation of some of the wide receivers in other cities. But when you look at the way he's perceived of being able to elevate everybody else instantly, it doesn't just happen like that. It doesn't just, there's time and growth that has to be given to him also. And I feel like looking at some of the decisions that he made, whether it was holding on to the ball or whether, to be quite honest with you, Brian Callahan set him up on plays where he was rolling into pressures. Like, it's not just him, but he's also at fault for some of the things that have happened yesterday, too. I look at his ability to throw to the sideline, phenomenal. But then I look at him throwing down the seam, and I'm just thinking to myself, this isn't college. You're going to get somebody laid out or somebody's knee bent back when you got safeties coming down the middle. Like, you got to understand your opponent more, which is why I feel like we had that conversation this past week about you got to respect what this Denver Broncos defense is. Like, I'm not going to throw my guys in harm's way when I know that Tali Fuanga is on the other side or breathing down his neck. I'm not going to throw it to the sideline to a rookie when I know that Patrick Surtain is over there guarding him from time to time. And I felt like watching some of his tape. It wasn't all bad. I'd probably give him a C minus is where I'm at with him. But when you mention those plays that are down the seam, I think the concept of those plays were good. I think, quite honest with you, Cam was more fault as missing them than the wide receivers were of not catching them. And nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to hear that either. There is the conversation that has to happen about some quarterbacks. Man, he's got a catchable ball. I do think Cam has a great arm. Him refining his mechanics or his style or his touch is a part of his growth. So a C minus for a rookie who played on the road against that defense is fine to me too. Some of those, like Calvin's drop, oh my God, you got to bring those in. It's the ones that hit him in the body.
It's not all on Cam. It's also not all on the receivers. Like at times, both the receivers and Cam Ward could have done better to connect.
100%. There was probably 5 footballs that hit the wide receivers that they got to bring it in. Now, it's probably 5 more that he put on a razor blade.
In an impossible position.
Impossible, which it tipped their fingers from time to time. I was thinking to myself, and I choose not to tweet out because of my other positions that I have, but I was thinking to myself, like, all of Nashville got livid at Van Jefferson in Atlanta. That was the same, in my opinion, same pass that he threw to Calvin Ridley yesterday. Off the tips, you felt like he should have brought it in and didn't. And nobody was asking for Calvin.
Which one are you talking about specifically?
The one where Tali Fuanga was about to clean him up.
So, the last drive of the game.
last drive, yes. I felt like that was the same type of pass. That right there is one of those situations where you got to put a little arc on it, let it come down, and let him go down also.
And on the same drive, there's one that Calvin's got to come up with as well.
100%.
That hits him in the hands, chest high.
C minus is what I would give him on that first show. Against that defense, that ain't bad.
I think you're right. I think Cam met my expectations. I think Cam showed us flashes of some really good.
Absolutely.
I think Cam also showed us some flashes of some bad. You can't escape out of the back of the pocket. And in the situation specifically where the Titans, after the muffed punt, put themselves in position to at least get 3, Cam Ward took a 16-yard sack. It just can't happen. There has to be an understanding for Cam of when is a play not salvageable and how do I limit the damage? Yes. Because when you are already in field goal range, there is a big difference between a 6 and a 16-yard sack. That 10 yards was the difference between the Titans getting 3 there and getting nothing. And unfortunately, they got nothing. That was the bad with Cam. I thought the good, the 2 scrambles he had where he found Tony Pollard open for the 29-yard gain on the first 3rd down was excellent. I thought the throw that he had to Calvin Ridley where he scrambled away and got out, like, again, that's what you take with Cam. You're going to take some 15-yard sacks because sometimes he's going to give you an explosive play. So, yes, while we're being critical of the 16-yard sack Ramon that definitely cost them points, if he just always eats it and just turtles down like less mobile quarterbacks and never takes chances, you're also not going to get some explosive plays. So, bit of a catch-22. Overall, I thought he met my expectations. I thought he was good enough for this team to be in position to win the game. And I thought that it's going to just take some more time for him to throw these fastballs to a spot and receivers know where that spot is. And there's just only so much that you can learn in practice and in preseason. You just got to go do it.
Yeah.
And this was the first step of going and doing it with Elikai Manor, who had 1 drop, with Chimere DK, who, again, like, we know about half the story. if we gave them truth serum in the meeting room, maybe they would tell us exactly whose fault it was. Maybe Chim's got to get to that spot. Maybe Cam is throwing to that spot too early. I will say, Ramon, a lot of the drops and misses that they had were when J.C. Latham went out, and the timing of the offense was a little bit off because Cam is rushing things because he's not trusting what's in front of him, and I don't blame him on that.
No.
But that is when I thought the timing and the rhythm of the offense was at its worst, was when you had to go to Oli Udoh at right tackle, put in a really tough spot on the road, silent count. They can time up that snap count in Denver with those pass rushers of that crowd really, really easily at home. Ultimately, all said and done, I thought Cam was fine. I thought he's fine. I thought it was a good first step.
I agree. Yeah, that was a smart crowd up there. I told you, like, Denver has one of those environments that I think most fan bases would love to see inside of their home stadium. And they did a good job of having it loud. It was chaotic. The defense pinned their ears back, and they took advantage of spots. That was what was super unique to me, is they took advantage of spots. They lost guys from time to time, and I did think for them, they had a dose of physicality they was trying to show them and hit Cam from time to time. But in return, defensively, it was the exact same thing for the Titans. They got after that Denver offense, man. And it sucks that it couldn't have been backed up with better O-line play. And the other part of this, too, which sucks for Cam, is this. The limitations that you have as a rookie quarterback and understanding what to do and how to play this game is super unique. The emphasis this week for me in watching the Titans go into week 2 has to be first down plays. You can't set up a play action if you're not running the football well. Right. And you know Vance Joseph is going to send heat at you, or his guys up front live by the philosophy of stop the run on the way to the quarterback. They were in his face quickly.
I charted every first down play the Titans ran yesterday.
I love to hear what it is.
But first, let's go to John in Rhode Island. 615-737-1045. What's up, John?
Good morning, fellas. Oh, man, so much to unpack this morning, huh? So I'll try to keep my thoughts organized. First, I want to start off with Callie. I don't know what's going on with him, man. It continues to be the same thing we saw last year. A lot of questionable play calling. A lot of the play calling's predictable, but I think the thing that stands out the most is how he doesn't understand the rules. I think anybody in the NFL and anybody who watches the NFL at this point knows what a catch is. And the fact that he didn't know that is definitely concerning. The fact that nobody else on the staff knew that and to at least correct him is also concerning, because that means he's surrounding himself with other people that aren't smarter than him, and that's a problem. Other than that, you know, what's up with the tight ends and the running backs? The tight ends and the running backs are a rookie quarterback's best friends. Where were they yesterday? Where was Hunter Helm? Where was Chig? Where were their screen passes when the pressure was coming off the edges? I just think that his play calling, like, he has some great plays, he just doesn't call them at the right times. And and that continues to be an issue. I think most importantly, another caller mentioned it on the last call, was if this doesn't get turned around, I really think that October 19th date will be the turning point for the Titans. If Vrabel comes in here and he smacks around the Titans, I guarantee you, Amy being the emotional person that she is, there will be a change that come Monday. Other than that, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Great show. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, John.
I get it. I do think they could have gotten more to the running back specifically in the pass game. To the point about, though, the tight ends and screens, they threw a tight end screen to Chikakonkwo on 2nd and 10 from their own 9 late in the first half, and all 3 receivers blocked. If you go back and look at that play, it's open for a big gain down the sideline, and for whatever reason, all 3 receivers over there, they had 3 on 2. And it was incomplete because all 3 of them blocked. I think it was Chig who was supposed to get that ball. He was the one motioned. They were in zone. There was no receiver following him. Now, do the coaches have accountability in that too? Sure. They got to coach it better. But to the point about getting the tight ends involved, they tried, and that would have been a big gain.
Yeah.
Big game. Chris is up next. 615-737-1045. Go ahead, Chris.
Gentlemen, good morning. How are we?
Good morning.
Man, I'll be quick because I know we got a lot of hate going for Callie right now, but I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm a baseball coach at a much lower level, not nearly the amount of talent as anything professional, but my very first game, I went to argue a call, and this is baseball, and I argued it to the wrong umpire. Literally walked to the wrong base to ask the guy to ask for help. Most embarrassing thing that ever happens. My point is, rule stuff, yeah, he's in the NFL. Like, he's got to know that, or he's got to have a staff guy that's on his hip that knows all of them. I get that. But, guys, what does our favorite coach of this radio station say? Keep your powder dry. Mm-hmm. And that is for all things. That is for good and bad. And guys, come on, man. Callie's a second-year head coach. We know he's got some offensive capabilities. He obviously has trouble managing game management and calling plays, but that's my piece, gentlemen. I'd love to hear you here on it. Love 104.5. You guys are the best.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Appreciate the call. I agree. And that's where I sit on the Callahan stuff today. Doesn't make it any easier. Doesn't win you the game over, but fact of the matter is coaches need time to get better too.
You know what sucks, though? That Rams defense made Houston look like they were little children yesterday, though.
Sure did.
It doesn't get easier.
No, it does not.
It doesn't get easier at all.
No, it does not. First down plays that the Titans ran. I've got the amount of runs, the amount of passes, and what they did on each of them. We'll give that to you coming up next. More of your phone calls as well. 615-737-1045. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 1045 The Zone.
Synergex and Low T Center are the originals MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. They have been changing lives of men across the country for over a decade. Since starting, a lot of other players have entered the field, okay? But Synergex and Low T Center are the pros providing you with the most medically driven, results-focused, and winning approach to restoring the quality of patients' lives through hormone care. Just talk to one of their patients and they will tell you TRT and Synergex and Low T Center have significantly changed your life. So don't wait, my friend. Get into the center and get your test done, all right? It's simply what I've been telling you guys for a long time. If you've been thinking about testosterone, or if you've noticed that you're getting older, more tired, not motivated to do anything, it's not just aging. It's a physical and mental change to your body also. Testosterone can help you. Real patients tell us every single day, man, and I hear them. They tell me they got their energy back, they're doing better than ever at work, and their wife, man, listen, it's like they're newlyweds again. At the gym, they're crushing it. I've even heard guys say they were a little bit depressed. Well, guess what? It can also affect your emotions, how you are inside, all right? Women also. Testosterone replacement therapy doesn't just start with men. It also benefits women as well. Women experience many of the same symptoms as men with low testosterone. Tiredness, no energy, mood swings, low libido. We get it. They will also be able to help you also. Man, you can get a free consultation by going to one of their centers. I'm telling you, what are you waiting for? If you want to get back to yourself and take your health over again, restore your energy like a pro and go on with the rest of your life. You can book an appointment at trtmvp.com. Yes, that's the website, trtmvp.com.
Nashville is an it city, and relocating might be tougher than you think. What's going on? It's Will Bowling. I want to tell you about my friend Bernie Gallerani and Bernie Gallerani Realty, who is going to help and guarantee to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. No risk to you. Bernie will let you out of the contract at any time. He is the real estate agent who has the 30-day guarantee, and if not, he will buy it from you. He's the only agent that I've personally endorsed here in Middle Tennessee. So if you're ready to sell your home, start by knowing its true value. Bernie Gallerani's new home value estimator is fast, it's free, and it's easy. BernieGallerani.com, where you got to go. Go to the top of the homepage, click on how much is your home really worth. Go give it a try. If you've been thinking about relocating, but you haven't been totally motivated, well, maybe when you see the price of what you could get for your home, what Bernie could get for your home, maybe you would be motivated to go relocate. Check it out, BernieGallerani.com. He's so confident in his ability to help you. My friend Bernie Gallerani's handed out his personal cell phone number, 615-428-2644. That's the number to call. Online at BernieGallerani.com, or call him at 615-428-2644. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. And now that football season is all the way back, we remind you that if you miss any second of the show, any of the interviews, any of the calls that you want to hear, our takes on Cam, on Callahan, on Calvin Ridley, the 104.5 The Zone podcast network has you covered. Subscribe to the channel, please, if you don't mind. Search Ramona and Will wherever you download podcasts, Apple and Spotify, the places we recommend you go that are most compatible with your phone, with your smart devices. Every hour, every show podcasted there for you. 615-737-1045. Again, we've said it throughout the morning. Our only guest this morning is you to give us your thoughts on Titans and Broncos, the NFL weekend. Davey is in Mount Juliet up next. What's up, Davey? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we today?
We are excellent.
You're hanging in, I bet. Listen, I want to ask something specifically. I think fellow callers have the Callahan thing pretty buttoned up, so I'm going to leave that alone. Ramon, for you specifically, how would you have graded Dan Moore yesterday? Because I would have said before Latham went down, he was the worst player on the offensive line. I thought he struggled. I think it was 2 holds, maybe 1 accepted. What's your grade of him? Because I think that's concerned. I understand Benito's a good player, but I think we play like a lot of really good edge players this year, and if he's not going to be able to hold up, but what does that mean for Cam long term?
For Cam long term, I mean, he doesn't grow up. That means that he's always running and inside and outside of the pocket. He has no ability to grow as a confident passer inside of the pocket if Dan can't get his stuff together. That is his blind side. He'll be forever probably drifting to the right side of the offensive line instead of staying up in the pocket or pushing up in those moments right there. Grade I give Dan C-D. Because of the opponent that he was facing in those in that situations right there. Had the hold, could have been a sack. I'm not sure if he actually gave up a sack, but in totality, not good from Dan Moore yesterday.
There you go. Thank you, Davey. Good to hear your voice again, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it was a fascinating start for Dan. You know he has a reputation of it in general. I appreciate him not giving up the sack or letting Cam get hit the way he did, but it's still a negative play. You either go back 10 yards or you lose 10 yards because of the sack regardless. But in general, first downs have to be a ton better. The protection of being in 3rd and long, 2nd and long, you're never going to do business well in those type of situations.
That was our number one key in this game if the Titans were going to win. Beyond the turnover margin, beyond run the football to get yourself ahead of the chains on early downs. To the point on Dan Moore and what he did yesterday, according to Next Gen Stats, Nick Benito generated a career-high 9 pressures on 22 pass rushes. That's a 41% pressure rate, including 5 quick pressures, which means pressure under 2.5 seconds, and a sack. He generated 7 of his pressures against Dan Moore, who yielded the 6th most pressures among left tackles last season as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. When we talked with Dan earlier this offseason, Ramon, he mentioned the amount of technique changes and things that he'd never thought about or been taught that he is adjusting on the fly. How long will it take some of that teaching to click to where we could see a different Dan Moore on the field?
It's so fascinating with that type of stuff because your baseline has to be set. Little tweaks that you're making is probably hand punching. Like, I tried to tweak the way I pass protected, so I wanted to punch guys more. That ain't my game. I tried to tweak that. I went right back to my original stuff. I just redefined it. Brought my hands in. I struck guys quicker or grabbed guys quicker instead of just trying to punch them harder. Those are the types of things that he's got to figure out. It's not a lot that you're trying to change, or you should be trying to change in one offseason. It's probably one thing, Will. So as much as I love that conversation of I'm tweaking myself, you're more than likely going to screw yourself over.
Sure.
Like, minimize your weaknesses is what you should be doing instead of trying to improving your strength that much. If I can minimize my weaknesses and I've been above the line in a lot of my plays, I'm going to make myself that much better. And I don't think laying on the fact that, hey, coach said I need to change this, and then I change this, and then I change that. Give me one thing that we're working on. And that's where living up to the pressure of the contract, a new team, and trying to solidify yourself as a player in this league is probably consuming them more than anything. You can't do too much in the offseason.
On first down yesterday, Brian Callahan was asked by Teron Davenport postgame about why they were so predictable in early downs. Justin, if we have that ready, talking about, hey, why do you feel like you ran the ball so much on first down? This was Callahan postgame.
Well, I'm trying to run the ball so we don't drop back and face their pass rush every snap. That was part of it. We ran the ball decent in the first couple series, but you're trying to keep those guys from pinning back and rushing the entire game, which is what happened some in the second half, and they getting those down at distances. We had some production in the run game, we didn't have enough, but yeah, that's why you do it, is you're trying to keep some balance and get yourself in some manageable third downs, which we weren't in any of them for most of the game.
Yesterday, according to the brief work I've done looking at what they did on each first down, 12 runs for 49 yards, 3 for 9 passing, 13 yards, and 1 sack taken on first downs yesterday. Ramon, did you have an issue with the early down play calling?
Early in the game, no, because it's a field thing and I'm trying to establish myself. The problem I have is that the offensive line didn't grow and didn't catch a flow to the game either. And that's because they were punting or getting off on the ball or had penalties that took away from the good that happened. There was no flow to them either. I saw people saying the O-line was fair. I'd probably, as a whole, give them a D. Like, you got to be able to impose your will. And they didn't at all yesterday, man. They didn't.
I agree. I think the offensive line and run blocking didn't do enough to help Tony Pollard, who was a one-man running back position yesterday. Julius Chestnut gave them some short yardage snaps. Khalil Mullings was hurt on one of the kickoffs in the first half and was questionable to go back, and he re-injured that ankle that he'd been dealing with going into that. So Khalil Mullings is a special teamer. I mean, really, you had 2 running backs up yesterday. Khalil Mullings is there as a core teamer. So we'll see how they address that for this upcoming weekend as well. But I thought they could have utilized the screen game a little bit more. And I do think they will get to a point where they trust Cam to run a lot of RPOs. I just don't think he has mastered that enough yet against NFL defenses for them to just throw it out there and say, all right, you're on your own, go do it.
It ain't believable yet.
It's not.
No.
It's not. And that's where they're going to have to layer some more complicated things to get Cam going. Now, the thing I thought they could have done, but I understand why they didn't do it, is tempo and no huddle. But what do you have to do in order to run tempo and no huddle? You got to get the first down.
Yeah.
And that's where I think this staff had a lot more in the game plan that we never got to see because there were too many negative plays. When you can't block 4, there's really not a lot of play calling that gets around that.
And Denver was like roaches out there in the outfield, man. They were scattered everywhere. The secondary was, and linebackers.
That defense, according to the stats we have from last year, top 5 in the league and getting home with 4. That is why I don't think that's a major play calling issue. Aside from the end of first half sequence and the lack of challenge on the Elikiah Manor elbow in catch on 1st and 20, I didn't think there was much else Brian Callahan could have done other than maybe some more screens. But again, he called a screen in that end of first half sequence and nobody went to go catch the ball. They all 3 tried to block. So fact of the matter is it's still a young team and it's still a team that is unfortunately going to be inconsistent as they get a lot of new faces in. There is one old face that was back in the field yesterday. L'Jarius Sneed played football yesterday, but maybe not as much as you all would have liked. Coming up, we'll tell you what Brian Callahan had to say about that postgame, and we'll go around the AFC South, take a look at the other results in the division yesterday coming up.
Something awesome is coming to Genesis Diamonds next weekend, September 19th, 20th, and 21st. It's a 3-day designer engagement ring event showcasing the world's top 2 brands in bridal jewelry, Tacori and Verragio. Tacori from California, Verragio from New York, both flying in their entire lines, including all new rings for this special event. You can explore hundreds of exquisite American-made designer rings. Plus, Genesis will have special incentives, 0 interest financing, and up to $5,000 in instant savings. In addition, Genesis has an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds for this 3-day event. All shapes, all sizes, rock-bottom prices. This is the best of the best, man. Every Tacori ring is handcrafted by master artisans with exceptional quality. Every Viraggio ring is made by hand with unmatched attention to detail. These are brands other jewelers only wish they could offer. But at Genesis, they have the entire Tacori and Viraggio collections, and they'll all be on display next weekend. So don't miss the bridal jewelry event of the year, September 19th through the 21st at Genesis Diamonds. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
It is 8:03. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall 20-12 to the Denver Broncos in Mile High yesterday and start the season 0-1. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward in his NFL debut threw for just 112 yards and completed just 12 of his 28 passing attempts. The Titans on offense gave up 6 sacks on the day, but the Titans defense were able to just get 1 sack on Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix thanks to defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. The Titans won the turnover battle 4-1, but only able to score 6 points off of those turnovers. The Titans also had 13 penalties in the game that resulted in 131 yards of negative plays. Today, head coach Brian Callahan will speak to the media at 12:30, and select players will then speak after. Last night on Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills come back from down 15 points with 4 minutes to play to beat the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo 41-40 on a Matt Prater 32-yard last-second field goal. Ravens running back Derrick Henry rushed for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. Henry, with his 2 touchdowns, moves to 6th all-time in rushing touchdowns all-time in the NFL with 108, passing NFL legend Jim Brown. Bills quarterback Josh Allen had 394 yards passing and 2 touchdowns as well as 2 rushing touchdowns. More NFL football tonight as Week 1 comes to a close with Monday Night Football. It's an NFC North matchup as the Minnesota Vikings are in Chicago to take on the Bears. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. on ABC and ESPN, but you can also hear Westwood One's coverage right here on The Zone starting at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 3 in your Monday morning, a Reaction Monday on Ramon and Will. We're fueled by Scooter's Coffee, locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. 615-737-1045, the number. Titans lose to the Denver Broncos 20-12. We will talk about the coaching staff, the decisions or bad decisions that were made yesterday, coming up in 15 minutes. And your thoughts as well in the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Brian Callahan will meet with the media at 12:30 today. You'll be able to hear that live on the Buck Rising Show. Select players available as well at 1:30. And tomorrow, coordinators at 11 a.m. L'Jarius Sneed yesterday, according to ESPN's Teron Davenport, played 19 snaps. Brian Callahan was asked about that postgame and had this to say.
I don't know about the snap counts. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, that was about his pitch count. He's between 20 and 25 snaps in a game. So. Did you say during the week there would be no pitch count on L'Jarius? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything about it, to be honest. But he was on a pitch count.
What do you think about that, Ramon?
About him not saying that he was on a pitch
or just him having a pitch count. Like how do you feel they managed Sneed yesterday?
Nobody's going on to hear this, but like it's 17 weeks.
Yeah.
This is an AFC got lost 100%, but you much rather have him in week 3 against the Colts. Like L'Jarius is right to be upset. He's right to honestly throw the coach under the bus in that type of situation because he's the ultimate competitor. He's basically saying to Callahan, let me go. But as a coach and as a training staff, you can't allow certain things like that to happen in those moments. I do agree situationally. I personally, as somebody that's watching the game, and I'm sure these fans wanted to see him in those moments to where he can compete and stop them from, that Darrell Baker Jr. touchdown. You love to have seen that be L'Jarius Sneed on him, right? Instead of Darrell Baker Jr. in those moments right there. That's one of those type of situations. Situationally, at the end of the half, where you got to have a stop and you can go into the end zone when 3 and out and punt it and set them up for field position. You love to have seen L'Jarius Sneed in that type of situation right there.
Right.
And I 100% get that. It's, from a fan perspective, enough to make you want to throw stuff at the wall. And I'm sure L'Jarius, but here's the thing. Do you want him now? Do you want him in November, December, January? Right? Those are the things that you want from him. First game of the season, see what his response is like. The altitude component of it, the knee may have blown up on the flight. I don't know what it is, but coaches and the training staff have to have a plan. And it sucks that you lost the way you did because you think of the ways that Denver scored, and you would have thought to yourself, L'Jarius wouldn't have allowed that. That's the biggest issue. That also questions and takes I'm talking about Callahan's reputation just take hits because of these type of moments that have probably been predetermined before the game even kicked off.
Yeah, I thought I 100% agree. The only thing you could have maybe done differently is put him out there at the end of the first half. But again, to your point, you don't know what the second half is going to look like and how much you're going to need him for the same situation in the fourth quarter. Because then if you put him out there in the second half, you say you keep them from scoring, but then you've gone with the amount of snaps that you're willing to put him out there at halftime because you put him out there for an end of first half situation. We're going to be saying the same thing if you give up a big play in the fourth quarter because, why was Snead out there? Why'd you put him in at the end of the first half? However you spin it, it's not ideal. But the fact of the matter is, it was far down the list of why the Titans lost yesterday. L'Jarius Snead not being out there more is not the biggest reason or even the fifth biggest reason why the Tennessee Titans lost to the Denver Broncos. Now, if L'Jarius Snead could play right tackle, when J.C. Latham went out, we'd be having a different conversation. But he's a corner. And I can tell you from being on the sideline, L'Jarius Snead did not have any new injuries. He was not undergoing any kind of treatment. He wasn't even having any kind of therapy on the field. He was fine. He was good. This was the plan.
And the other side of it, too, for L'Jarius Snead, other than his presence of being out there, your defense had 2 interceptions by Roger McCreary.
Yeah, the secondary is probably the best singular unit on offense or defense.
That's my biggest question. I felt one of my biggest questions is what are they going to be? Will rush and coverage work together? And they worked well yesterday.
They were great. They were really good. The safeties we knew was going to be the strength of the defense. Showed up. Xavier Woods gets his first pick of the season.
The main comments coming through our YouTube chat right now, in general, just YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook is theft. It's highway robbery with the way L'Jarius Snead has been managed and how much he's played. I get that. But L'Jarius Snead also had the same issue, except for the availability part of it in Kansas City. You're just on the back end of him needing rehab more than his availability as a player for the Titans. I get that. It's seeking comfort in what I'm saying. It absolutely is. Y'all can call up and say what you want to. But legitimately, I say this. It's 1 of 17, and you want him from the AFC South because they got some doggone demons in Jacksonville, and they showed that yesterday, too.
Agreed.
And in Indianapolis, for that matter.
Great segue to what happened around the rest of the AFC South. Colts 33, Dolphins 8. Ramon, is the following statement a week 1 reaction or overreaction? Daniel Jones is going to be a solid QB1 for the Indianapolis Colts.
Appropriate. He made a rookie tight end yesterday look like he's going to turn into a friggin' Pro Bowler. He's on the all-rookie team right now from my standpoint.
Tyler Warren, 7 catches for 76.
I mean, he found a way to make him relevant. I don't even know if we calling them weapons up in Indianapolis right now.
Oh, they got weapons.
Yeah. He making them look even more dangerous.
Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and Tyler Warren, they got guys.
And they
a good running back in Jonathan Taylor. I underestimated how good that line was going to be right away. Credit to Indy. Yeah. Protected him. Daniel Jones throws for 272 and a touchdown on 22 of 29 passing. Couple of QB sneaks for him at the line. I think the Dolphins might be the worst team in football.
But you know what? They made him look like
it.
Yeah.
So you get credit for that. You can only play the team on your schedule. Jury's still out on whether or not Daniel Jones can sustain that level of play and be that solid. But I thought it was a really good start for him. Really, really good start for him. The Colts scored on all 7 of your possessions. If you're doing that on any NFL defense, I don't care who the defense is, you score on all 7 of your possessions. At the very least, that means your operation was sound. You weren't having pre-snap penalties and penalties to put you behind the sticks. You did your job and took care of business at home. Solid. Credit to the Colts.
Who knew Daniel Jones was going to be a fantasy football savant?
Yeah.
3 touchdowns total for him yesterday, 2 on the ground.
Well, and it's easy to make the argument that this is the best situation that Daniel Jones has ever been in.
Yeah.
In terms of the players around him and the pieces that he has to be successful. I still will believe it when I see it that he can be this year's Sam Darnold. I'm not ready to go close to that yet. But at the very least, a very good start for Daniel Jones. After a delay at the start of the game, the Jags beat the Panthers 26-10. This one went about how I expected, except a little bit lower scoring. Jags scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions to run away from Carolina. Brian Thomas Jr. Didn't click for him as much as they would have liked, but Trevor Etienne said, I'll pick up the slack. 16 carries for 143, including a 71-yard touchdown run. They forced 3 turnovers from Bryce Young, who was shaky. And Travis Hunter played 39 offensive snaps, caught 6 of his 8 targets for 33 yards, played 6 snaps on defense. I've been consistent all offseason, Ramon. I'm higher on the Jags than most people are because I think Liam Cohen has proven he can take a QB in a pass game and make him good right away. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but that's a solid week 1 for Jacksonville against a very popular dark horse NFC South team in Carolina.
Made them look pedestrian yesterday. It almost as if Bryce Young is going to end up being in that conversation of B-U-S-T, bust. And it don't look like he's going to get from underneath that rock anytime soon the way Jacksonville made him look.
And he had high expectations coming into that week 1 based off how they finished the year last year.
Yeah, buddy.
They don't have Jalen Coker yet. He's on IR. They don't have Adam Thielen. They traded him back to Minnesota, which I still don't understand. Tenorona McMillan was solid. Yeah. His debut as wide receiver 1 there, but their offense did not look great.
And, by the way, Coker was the reason why they chose to ship off Thielen, too.
Correct. So we'll see what Bryce Young and that offense looks like when they get the full complement of their weapons. Fewest points and total yards allowed by the Jags in their season opener since beating Houston in 2017, which was the Saxonville AFC Championship game season. I'm sorry to remind you. Yeah.
We can move on.
We can. Rams 14, Texans 9. A lot more on the Rams coming up this week, of course, as the Titans get ready to play them. Matthew Stafford was good enough. Was hit a lot, but was good enough when kept upright. Puka Nacua, man, when he's healthy, he's so good. Bro. 10 catches for 130. That's a big challenge this week. The questions we have about the Texans were the right ones. They were. Can they protect C.J. Stroud? Well, they had a lot of injuries yesterday. Ed Ingram was out before the game. During the game, the Texans had to shuffle multiple times. Cam Robinson left. Center Jake Andrews was carted off. Against that pass rush and the new fearsome foursome, I never thought Houston was going to have a chance against that defensive front. I thought that was a nightmare matchup for the Texans, considering how much they've changed their line. Exactly what happened. C.J. Stroud was pressured on 41% of his dropbacks, his 14th game facing a pressure rate of 40% or higher since he entered the league. That is tied for the most in the NFL.
Oh, Houston, we got a franchise quarterback. What should we do? Not protect them.
Trade away our best linemen and make that group worse.
And what did Jaden Daniels look like yesterday with him over there, Larry Tunsil? I mean, comfortable.
I think Houston's a 9 or 10 win team and is only in the playoffs this year because this division's not great. I think it is far from a guarantee that they win the division.
And 2 Vols end up getting a sack on them yesterday, too.
There you go.
Byron Young and also Jalen McCullough. Both of them with sacks.
How worrying are Brian Callahan's mistakes yesterday? How worried should Titans fans be about the coaching element of yesterday's loss? Your thoughts at 615-737-1045 next.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code THEZONE. That's code THEZONE, THEZONE, to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. 21 plus, Tennessee only, eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
It's Ramon Foster for Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. Listen, they are a trusted, family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville all the way to Murfreesboro for over 25 years, man. They stand up by building relationships and earning trust through referrals, never through high-pressure tactics, door knocking, or storm chasing. And if you're also concerned about how you can afford a roof, listen to me. They provide clear estimates with no surprise fees and offer flexible financing so you can get the roof work you need without the delay. The builders and homeowners trust them, and you can too, man. For a roofer that you can count on and simply the best around here, man, call them. Their number is 615-868-9999. Yes, all nines at the end of that. Or you can visit jewelroofing.com. That's jewelroofing with 2 L's.com.
Hicks looking downfield, and it's fumble! Titans got it! They're on the ball! Jeffrey Simmons forced the fumble.
Big Jeff. Yesterday, making a play, made a lot of plays. Good enough to win. Titans defense did their job. What about everyone else? Special teams did their job. Offense, coaching staff. How worrying are some of Brian Callahan and his staff's mistakes yesterday? 615-737-1045, open for your feedback and phone calls. The big point of contention this morning, a non-challenge on a 1st and 20 throw to wide receiver Alec Iamaner, who appeared to get an elbow in bounds. Brian Callahan had this to say post-game when asked about why he did not challenge a play where many fans believed should have been a first down.
Yeah, you got to get a foot in bounds too, which we didn't have a clean look at whether his foot was down as well. An elbow doesn't equal 2 feet, so his foot would have had to come down as well. We didn't have a clean look, so the call from upstairs was that it wasn't worth challenging.
According to our interpretation of the rules, which I imagine we'll get more clarity on when Brian speaks to the media at 12:30, an elbow does equal 2 feet. Yep. From the rule book, a forward pass is complete by the offense or intercepted by the defense in the field of play, at the sideline, or in the end zone if a player who is inbounds, A, secures control of the ball in his hands or arms prior to the ball touching the ground, and touches the ground inbounds with both feet or with any part of his body other than his hands. After A and B have been fulfilled, clearly performs any act common to the game, extending the ball forward, taking an additional step, tuck the ball away, and turn upfield, avoid or ward off an opponent, or he maintains control of the ball long enough to do so. That is the NFL rulebook on what delineates a catch. You'll remember when the Titans beat Baltimore in the divisional round of the playoffs, we had the famous 1 cheek equals 2 feet catch from Jonnu Smith in the back corner of the end zone. Got 1 butt cheek down equals 2 feet. That was a big topic for this fan base 6 years ago. Ramon, how worrying is that if our interpretation is correct and what we believe is true, that Callahan postgame just got that wrong?
He did. For the gotcha gang, oh, we got you. Yeah, that's not good for him. It's just not. To go up to the podium to give that answer also unacceptable. I know we all mess up, but like when it's your job to be informed or to get informed, you got to go up there and give that one. At least delay that answer, man, because as a player, even I knew that when 1 knee equal 2 feet, 1 elbow, 1 butt cheek, all those types of things, man, equals 2. It just, perception is reality to a lot of people is what I'm going to say. Without trying to pour too much gas on this situation for him, because I know, like, I said it to you before we started the show, like, I don't even think he can go to confession at this point if he's Catholic. Like, it ain't too many places that he probably going to want to be out in public at. And that explanation of him not understanding that rule doesn't give much grace. Most coaches know that one.
I'm interested to hear more from him on this today. Brian Callahan will speak to the media at 12:30. You'll be able to hear it live on the Buck Rising Show. Did he misspeak? Does he not know the rules? Did someone in his ear tell him the wrong rule? Is it the fact that they didn't feel like they had enough evidence to overturn it in what he was told in a snap decision in the headset? Regardless of how you spin it, Ramon, and regardless of what he says today, the fact of the matter is that he incorrectly gave a rule after a football game. And no matter how you spin that, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
It is. Now, I don't think that's fireable. I think that trying to heat up Brian Callahan's seat today is premature. I think that the age-old adage that teams improve more from week 1 to week 2 than any other week is accurate, because you have to learn what you have when live bullets start flying. There is only so much you can learn in preseason and in training camp, because habits that are created in preseason sometimes go out the window when the pressure and atmosphere and game planning of a regular season game gets to you. So we're going to see how this team responds, Ramon, over the next 16 games over 17 weeks, starting with Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams. Is it concerning? Yes. Is it a fatal flaw? In my opinion, no. We're going to see what the answer is today at 12:30, and we're going to see how this team responds. If these continue to be common mistakes by the coaching staff and in game management, we'll have a different conversation. But this has not been a common issue for the Titans, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? 615-737-1045. Drew in Nashville's up first.
Hey, guys. Hey, I just wanted to – that was the first time I heard about Callahan responding to number 5 and that play there. And, you know, when I was watching the game, I mean, I don't have hardly as much experience in football as Callahan did, but I said, man – told my dad, I said, no, he caught all you have to do is have an elbow down. Mm-hmm. And I was upset he didn't challenge it. You contrast that with Sean Payton, who's throwing the challenge flag like 3 or 4 times yesterday, boom, and he's getting it correct. You know, it just looks like Callahan doesn't really know what he's doing. You know, it's just disappointing because you take all that game management, you take the first half blunder where we should have just taken a knee or ran the ball and gone to halftime, ended up causing us 7 points. And then that 3rd and 24 play where we had a field goal, or we were in field goal range, and then he decided to throw the ball on the best defense in the league. You know, I'm not sure what he was aiming for, a first down on 3rd and 25. You know, I mean, I think you take the points. You could easily make the case that Callahan cost us 10 points yesterday. So, man, I hate to just beat him up, but I'm very concerned, to answer your question. I'm very concerned that I'd like to know the rationale and what he was thinking. Why did he decide to make these decisions? Mm-hmm. I think we're owed that as a fan base. And I'll hang up and listen, guys.
Thanks, Drew. I'll tell you the reason why they were aggressive, backed up at the end of the first half is because they believe Joey Sly has a historically good and powerful leg to kick it from their own side of the 50. They feel like they were 30 to 40 yards away from being able to kick a 60-plus yard field goal that they were confident he would make. He did not miss in pregame warmups. He made 4 kicks in the game. Talking to people yesterday, Ramon, they felt like Joey Sly was on fire. But ultimately, that came back to bite him. Austin is up next. Hey, Austin.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Good morning.
I appreciate y'all having me. I listen to y'all every day, and I enjoy what y'all say. Anyways, man, the coaching was just unbelievable, as everybody else has said. How could be in the 5-yard line and throw the ball 3 times instead of just trying to get out of the half? You know, everything that he was doing yesterday was, I don't know, the elbow coming down, everything was just out of the way. I didn't understand it at all, any way you looked at it, but that's just me. That's all I got.
Thank you, Austin.
Appreciate it, Austin. Call back anytime.
Are there any other adjustments you think Brian and his staff can make, Ramon? Like, I think that there was a sideline hit that I just saw on Twitter. Christina Pink, who was on the sidelines for Fox, said she talked to Callahan at the end of the first half, and Callahan admitted he was getting in the calls a little late to Cam.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
What can be adjusted for Callahan realistically?
This is where his first-time play caller, flow of the game. Understanding 2nd and 6. All right, this is my group. I'm not sure if many people have seen a play call sheet or the way those big pieces of paper that they hold, they have them designated to 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and long, you know, for 1st and 5, those type of situations. Having a better plan for the flow of the game. It's I can't speak on him because I'm not one of his players, but it seems to me like when a play happens, he's probably asking what's the down and distance. Okay, instead of knowing. If you looked at Sean Payton, I feel like his head was down, eyes up, head down, eyes up the entire time, under like narrating the game in his head on how he wants the flow of it to go. That's probably still a little bit of his inexperience and his readjustment to what Cam is as a quarterback also.
Sure. Austin on YouTube says, can we give play calling to Nick Holtz?
You do that, you fire him. You do that, he's done. Who asked that question?
Austin on YouTube says, can we give play calling to Nick Holtz?
You do that, he's done.
It would be very damning to take away play calling responsibilities from an offensive head coach.
Yep.
It's just the fact of the matter. Now, is there a middle ground there? Can Nick Holtz have more of a role? Like, is there a, You call certain plays, I call certain plays. Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
There are suggestions.
That's a question for Brian.
It is. There are suggestions that he can give him
right
in his head on those type of situations, but it's his call.
Yeah. Bo Hart agree, and now that I've seen 3 preseason games and a regular season game, like Bo is more of the, hey, talk to Cam. What did you see?
Yeah.
Let's get in the tablet. Nick is the eye in the sky that is feeding Brian, hey, here's what I'm seeing. And Brian, ultimately, he's still the one calling plays. But there is, I think, a balance and I think more responsibility that he can probably be given to help get plays in on time at the very least. That would be a question for Brian Callahan. If you're telling Christina Pink of Fox that I'm getting calls to Cam late, why? And can that be fixed? Because Cam needs more time to diagnose and be able to make checks, because I believe that Cam is smart enough to make proper adjustments and get them in looks that are good against the defense that he's going up against.
Offensively, it looked rushed whenever they got the ball, got to the line of scrimmage and snapped.
And that is a problem that was happening last year too.
Yep.
To the point about game management, clock management challenges, I don't remember that being a major concern last season. Getting the calls in late and going down to 1 on the play clock consistently, that is not new.
No.
That's not new. Calvin is up next. Hey, Calvin.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, I want to talk about yesterday game. Second quarter, ball on your 5-yard line. This coach does not know situational football. If it was the coach from New England, Belichick, he knows situational football. Run the ball, make them use their timeouts. And that way, you can go into the half. This coach has done this last year, especially in the Green Bay game. Coming out the third quarter of the Green Bay game, he go for it on his side of the field. We're already ahead. You're putting the defense in a bad situation. And I've seen enough. It's time for him to go. I hang up and listen.
Thank you, Calvin. We talked about the end of second quarter situation. My only issue is the third down call. My only issue. Honestly, first down pass, incomplete. The screen they called on second down, all 3 players tried to block instead of someone going to catch it.
Yeah.
And it was open, and it was going to go for big gain. You had 3 versus 2. If guys just make their blocks, Chikakonkwo could he might score on that player. So who is that on? Is that on Cam for not clearly communicating what the play was? I doubt it. Is that on Chig for not knowing what route to run? Ultimately, that is still on the coaching staff because they didn't know the play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an issue with that call because that would have worked if somebody actually goes to catch the ball. It's the third down call when you've gone pass, incomplete. You're 3rd and 10 from your own 9. You've got to at least force the Broncos to use one of their timeouts.
And no clock.
Because they can't afford to be as aggressive down the field if they don't have the timeouts they had in their back pocket there.
One other thing before we go to the calls real quick, I did also think after a couple of those turnovers, got to take a shot. You got to push it down the field because you're in the bonus.
I still think they could block it.
You got to take a shot, especially when you're given a bonus possession like that too.
And the ball that Cam threw to Ellick on 3rd and 20, for what it's worth, Titans DBs were called for less in the secondary than what was not called on Riley Moss there. The deep ball to Iamander that he couldn't quite come down with. Riley Moss got away with something there that Jarvis Brownlee could not get away with on the other side.
I give from the TV copy, he looked up. That's what saved him.
At the very last second. He didn't turn his head, but he just looked up.
But he looked up because he showed his hands.
I thought it was a penalty, and if that game's in Nashville, that's probably called. But that's just the fact of the matter. You got to earn that. Yeah. You got to earn the benefit of the doubt from the Zebras. Boogie is up next. Hey, Boogie.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Good morning.
Good morning. Man, just looking at Callahan, I didn't get a chance to see the first half. Apparently, I didn't miss much. But the second half, your defense will get you the turnovers. You can't capitalize off of none of them. Cam was putting the ball on the money, but then you got Ridley can't catch nothing, right? But Callahan, you not knowing that the elbow equals 2 feet and then trying to explain it, that's a problem for me. Then, not to mention your record is like 3-15. So, I mean, I say you give him, if he's 0-4, it's time to move on. Y'all have a good one, man. Tighten up.
Appreciate it, Boogie.
Appreciate the call. I don't agree with the 0-4 thing, but I understand why you feel that way. I do. Continuity is really important for Cam. It really is.
Historically, the issue is those second year, you know the rule. I'm going to say it again. Historically, the rule has been across the NFL, second year coaches with a rookie quarterback, they usually don't last. As of recent, except for Sean Payton as of late, I think.
Thomas is in Nashville up next. Hey, Thomas.
What's going on, y'all?
Morning.
Hey, I got to call in with some negative stuff, but it sounds like we're on the roll right now. So, shout out to the rookies, because I think the rookies all played good yesterday. It's a red flag to me that Callahan doesn't know the rules, and then you look at somebody like Vrabel, who was here. Not saying we need Vrabel, but you look at somebody like Vrabel who knew the rule book front and back. So that's one thing. Two, it's nothing you could tell me to agree with throwing the ball on their 5-yard line, and then you sit there and try to run first and second down when you in the red zone and don't even take a shot in the end zone. I think that was pointless. You had 4 turnovers, and you didn't take a shot on none of those, and you had great field position. So, in my mind, personally, I think we should make Denard Wilson the head coach maybe next year. But Callahan, I think he's in over his head. I think he'll be better as a coordinator instead of actually a coach. I don't think he looks comfortable as a coach, and this team is not disciplined. And I hang up and listen.
Thank you, Thomas. Week 1, and we've got please make Denard Wilson the head coach. Guys, we got to pace ourselves.
Let's go, Will.
We got to pace ourselves.
The discipline part of it that you brought up, team not looking disciplined. The defense caused a good bit of those penalties, but the defense balled. I'm not sure how much of an excuse you give, but 13 in the first game, 131 total yards of penalties. That's just not a good look.
No, it's not. It's not. Wide open for your phone call. 615-737-1045 is our number. Dan, Ryan, and Mike lead us off next.
Did you know that up to 50% of the air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space? Have you ever looked in your crawl space? I get it. Most of us don't even want to know what's in there. But moisture in your crawl space can create unhealthy issues that can make their way into the air you breathe every day in your home. It's Ramon Fawson. This is where United Structural Systems can help you. USS has been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee since 1994. So here's the thing. You know they're not going anywhere. Help control moisture and musty smells with mold treatment and crawl space encapsulation that comes with the USS guarantee. Encapsulation helps reduce high humidity in your crawl space. It also helps deter mold and mildew and protects your crawl space from pests and wood rot. Turn your crawl space into a healthy space. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, listen to me. Reach out to the company I trust, and that's United Structural Systems. You can go to their website at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
All right, if you've been listening to the show over the last couple of weeks, you know that I've got a new obsession. Tailgate season is here. Watch party season is here. Dip season, maybe most importantly, is here. Chips, wings, and veggies while watching the big game. Daisy has come out with this delicious Daisy French onion dip and a Daisy ranch dip. I'm telling you, these are game changers. They are as delicious as a homemade dip. And they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Stop by your grocery store today. Pick them up. There's still football on tonight. You can still have that watch party. You can still have a tailgate just in your living room, in your kitchen. Daisy French onion dip, Daisy ranch dip. These are a game changer. Check them out. Ingredients from your own kitchen, real herbs and spices. Daisy French onion dip is at a grocery store near you.
It's Ramon Foster for All American Pest Control. Good people, man, listen to me. Their website, if you hate bugs, is Bugs.com. It is that simple, man. If you hate them, use that website right there. But All American Pest Control, they are family owned and proudly local, and we always love doing business with local, man. They've been serving Middle Tennessee for over 60 years. For a pest company to be here for over 60 years tells you how good they are. Matter of fact, I'll tell you how good they are. They service my home, man, and from the smallest things to if I have something outside, they get it knocked out quickly. It's been getting cooler outside, so y'all know fall is right around the corner, man, and I absolutely love this time of the year. What I do hate is this. Stink bugs, box elder bugs, Asian lady beetles try to invade the home every single fall, man. Don't wait until they're crawling on your walls or you see them randomly sitting on a chair in your house. No, freaking out everybody. Go ahead and get that taken care of now. They also have their Complete Care Max program, too, where you can bundle mosquito control, pest control, and yard treatment and termite protection with Centricon. They service you 8 times a year plus free reservice if a pest comes right back into the house. You can mix and build a protection plan that works for your home. They also, no hidden fees, no pushy sales, just a peace of mind. Anytime I've called them, they've picked up within a day. They're over at the house, man. All American Pest Control is the company you need. Visit their website at yuckbugs.com. That's yuckbugs.com.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Open for your phone calls on your approval of coaching in yesterday's loss to the Denver Broncos. Dan is up next.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Dan.
Hey, fellas, here's the question I'll ask. How could you
look more unprepared as a team than what they looked yesterday.
Yeah. How could you? Huh.
Well, as a team, I don't know if they're unprepared as a team. I mean, as an offense, things didn't look good, but, I mean, the defense and special teams were good enough to win you the game.
Well, the thing is, okay, special teams, really, you're going to go into the first game of the season, and your game plan is to win it with special teams?
Well, I'm not saying the game plan. I'm just saying that you can't say the whole team is unprepared when two of the three phases were actually pretty good in this game.
Well, okay, I'll give you that. But, I mean, when you look at how the parity in the league from the standpoint of everything is so micromanaged that everything was really just a catastrophe from the standpoint that could go on that would be encouraging. Here's what you got to start considering is the psyche of a very young, talented quarterback put in a bad situation. So I don't know what the answer is going to be in terms of long term, but I mean, maybe we want to look at a 2-year process and not only building a stadium, but building this team, and maybe the coach has got to go.
Thank you, Dan.
I think I'm listening.
Appreciate the call.
Appreciate it.
We'll see. They got 16 more games. Week 1 is often an outlier. We're going to find out if this was a sign of who this team is or if this was an outlier in a raucous environment in a crazy atmosphere with a young football team. I don't have the answer yet, but that's why they play the games. They can play another one Sunday against the LA Rams.
They will. The response has to be immense going into it.
Sure.
This upcoming week.
Games got to be managed better on the offense, on the field, and in the booth, and wearing the headset.
Yep.
Ryan in the Borough is next.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Man, I just want to first say God bless y'all for having to deal with catastrophe and holy. Can we just the one page we need to take out of Aaron Rodgers' playbook is just relax.
Yeah.
Like let's just relax. But I got a few questions. So, Ramon, you played in the National Football League. You're an offensive lineman, highly successful, and for a highly successful organization. How much does quarterback play determine your play calling as a play caller?
A good bit, I would say. The confidence that you got to have with the OC, your quarterback coach, and just your team. Listen, you walk in with the guy, it's a different mindset to answer your question.
So can we really evaluate Brian Callahan's ability to call plays off of 17 games of Will Levis and everybody else last year? I mean, is that fair to him? When he's been think about the guys he's been around, from Joe Burrow to Peyton Manning. He has been around guys that have not only opened up your entire playbook, they've brought their own wrinkles and things into quarterback meetings, offensive coordinator meetings, and opened up the playbook even more.
Mm-hmm.
And so last year to me is a wash. Like let's give the guy a fresh start this year with a guy that I think even yesterday showed glimpses of can be really successful in this league. And like let's give him a chance. Does he need to prove himself? Obviously, but every first-time head coach has to prove themselves. It just baffles me that we're ready to go put this guy on the stake and go get who? John Gruden? Like, who you gonna get? Like, let's give the guy some time to, man, see if it works. Like, and be a little hopeful. The Denver Broncos were one game away from being a playoff team last year. And we competed really well yesterday. Obviously, there's stuff to improve on, always is, but I think if we take away the turnovers and the drop balls, I don't even think we're having this discussion this morning because I think we win the football game.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate the call. We got to keep moving because we got a lot of people on the line.
Yeah, we do, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, the drop passes make this a little bit easier, sure. There's a lot of blame to go around. I think it's primarily on coaching. But coaching is not alone in the reason why the Tennessee Titans lost to the Denver Broncos. It's just not.
No. But the portion of it, to me, is just the entire look of the squad, too.
And not knowing the rules on the Iron Manor thing, if that really is the case, is not good. No. It's not. There's no way to spin that positively where it makes sense.
It's also talking about 13 penalties for 131 yards. You talk all offseason about getting better, being more disciplined,
It's
getting
a concern.
rid of the negative plays. And
Major concern.
Week 1, 13 penalties.
Mike in Clarksville up next. What's up, Mike?
Good morning, fellas.
Morning.
Everybody just needs to take a deep breath and woo-saw, rub the back of their earlobe, something. Whenever you sitting there blaming the coach, that's not all on the coach. A lot of that was mental mistakes I'm looking at. When you had 6 takeaways and only led to 6 points. We lost by 8. We got to clean that up. You had 135 total yards and 131 of them are penalties against you. You got to clean that up. Calvin Ridley used to be Mr. Stickham, and now he's Mr. Butterworth when he's catching the ball. So you got a lot of stuff that's mental that just needs to be fixed, and it seems like training camp was more of a spa. When you have big Jeff Simmons late in the game, you got to know that situation and not push your own player. They're going to call that. The game is close. It's a big-time situation. Big dudes up front sucking there like a big girl at the buffet. You guys got to get your mind right. All right, I'll hang up and listen to y'all. Get your mind right. Everybody relax. Let's just not get this losing Titan mentality. Get that out of our head. We're going to be all right. Can't afford to show problems.
Appreciate it, Mike. Mike in Clarksville called, not Mike in Cleveland no more. We appreciate you, Mike in Clarksville.
Wide open for your phone calls, 615-737-1045. We'll go rapid fire on the phones to begin hour number 4 coming up next.
Listen to me, man. If I had to describe Two Rivers Ford in 3 words, I'd call them the uncar dealer, okay? What do I mean by that? Most people think of car dealerships as a place that tries to press you or upsell you, but not at Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford has a non-commissioned sales team that gets paid to help you, not to sell you. So there's literally zero pressure. And Two Rivers Ford sell most of their vehicles at invoice, so the prices are always the best around. Two Rivers Ford also, they don't do things like add accessories and then try to upcharge you. I've seen that done. I absolutely hate that type of stuff, man. But doing business with Two Rivers Ford is literally like doing business with family. I know because I'm a Two Rivers Ford customer. Listen to me, I'm excited over the next couple of weeks, man, because they always deliver like they say they do. So if you're in the market for a vehicle, go to the Uncar dealer. Car dealer, Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
It is 9:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans fall 20-12 to the Denver Broncos in Mile High and start the season 0-1. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward in his NFL debut threw for just 112 yards and completed just 12 of his 28 passing attempts. The Titans on offense gave up 6 sacks on the day, but the Titans defense were only able to get just 1 sack on Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. The Titans won the turnover battle 4-1, but were only able to score just 6 points off of those turnovers. The Titans also had 13 penalties on the day that resulted in 131 yards of negative plays. Today, head coach Brian Callahan will speak to the media at 12:30, and select other players will speak after around 1:30. Last night on Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills come back from down 15 points with 4 minutes to play to beat the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo 41-40 on a Matt Prater 32-yard last-second field goal. Ravens running back Derrick Henry rushed for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. Henry, with his 2 touchdowns, moves to 6th all-time in the NFL in rushing touchdowns with 108, passing NFL legend Jim Brown. Bills quarterback Josh Allen had 394 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, as well as 2 rushing touchdowns. More NFL football tonight as Week 1 comes to a close with Monday Night Football. It's an NFC North matchup as the Minnesota Vikings are in Chicago to take on the Bears. Kickoff is set for 7:15 p.m. Central on ABC and ESPN. You can also hear Westwood One's coverage right here on 104.5 The Zone starting at 7. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the 4th and final hour of Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Back from Denver and back for 60 more minutes to kick off Reaction Monday. The Buck Rising Show will have Titans head coach Brian Callahan's visit with the media live for you. There's a lot to talk about, a lot for him to answer. 12:30. You can stream it live on Zone TV as well if you're at work and on your laptop, on your smart device. The 104.5 The Zone app has you covered as well. Ramon, it has been 3 hours of heat.
Fire.
Of hotter fire than I expected in a Week 1. But, hey, I get it.
Oh, no.
Just because I disagree with many of you who are having hot seat and I think irrational conversations, I understand the disappointment, Ramon, because yesterday, for the first time in a minute, you felt like the quarterback position showed flashes of really good things. And I understand why fans are frustrated that they got that part down and then seemingly everything else on offense just crumbled.
Yeah, and no grace to the other part. You say you're a little shocked. I am too. Well, I'm not. I'm not. Because
based on the way it happened, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, no, the reaction to everything that's happened to, no, absolutely not shocked. Callahan will be given no grace, especially when a defensive coordinator comes out and play the way he does or coach the way he did. Especially when you saw explosiveness out of the special team side of it, too. Especially not having Will Levis to blame solely for, hey, it's the quarterback play. And to add to that, especially with Cam Ward having the reputation that he has of always making every place that he's been at better. He gets zero grace. Fair or unfair, we're judged by what we show and what we put out there. And I just don't see it cleaning itself up unless you get a 500-yard offensive day with a win. Cam Ward is the potential rookie of the year at quarterback. We're talking about he's going to have to go over and beyond, in my personal opinion, for this fan base to accept him moving forward. I know a lot of people.
Brian Callahan.
Brian Callahan. I know a lot of people say it's early, it's Week 1. I'm with y'all. I am. But the conversation that I've heard, seen, saw on social media, and I know that ain't real life, he's going to have to do more than any coach in the NFL this year in the position. I think even more so than the coach with the New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Callie's got to go. He got to fly through thin air.
And got to go, meaning he's got to improve, not like he's got to get fired.
No, not like no. I'm meaning like he's gonna have to like fly through thin air like Superman does.
You be careful saying the word "somebody's got to go."
Oh
right
no,
now,
I didn't mean that one.
Ready to go.
No, not that one.
Loaded phone lines, so we give the voice to you. We're going to get as many of you in as we can here in this last hour. 615-737-1045. Let's go to Jeff in Lafayette. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, guys. Love y'all's show. Go Vols, go Titans. I'm so glad real football is back. There was one series yesterday after halftime. We had just committed 1 or 2 pass interference plays, and Cam Ward threw 3 great passes, and Denver literally, it was textbook pass interference, 3 plays in a row. The announcers never mentioned it, and you mentioned earlier in your broadcast, perception is reality. It was almost like the fix was in, and I hate when people say that. The very next play, they threw right at that cornerback that had 2 pass interference plays. He breathed on the receiver, and the announcers mentioned that should have been pass interference. I hate that in football. And one thing about Callahan, yesterday Callahan looked like the guy who would play a head coach in a movie. And I think part of the problem was on the other side of the field, you saw what a real head coach does. Sean was spitting and cussing, and he was in control of his team. And I don't know about that Waffle House menu he's got, but he's kind of like me. He's packed on a few pounds. I think that actually may be his plays and a Waffle House menu together. Love y'all's show, and I'll get off here and listen. Thanks a lot.
Jeff!
Thank you, Jeff. He's got an all-star special at the top and plays for 3rd and short at the bottom.
Jeff claims he's got chocolate chip waffles, too.
That's funny. I will say one thing that Brian Callahan was talking to the refs about, too, that I don't know if it was mentioned very much. The opening drive when Gunnar Helm had that catch that was reviewed, the Titans were not allowed to go fast there. They were claiming they did not sub. The way I understood it, Brian Callahan and Cam Ward were livid with Brad Allen's crew for standing over the ball and delaying them from getting right back on and going again, because they would have been closer to the low red zone than they're inside the 20 if that is a catch for Gunnar Helm and Sean Payton doesn't have time to throw the challenge flag. And then they were also really frustrated at the offsides called against Jeffrey Simmons, because they didn't felt like, and he said this postgame, they didn't feel like he'd gotten in the neutral zone, and then all the offensive lineman did was just point.
Yeah.
Usually you do have to reach out and touch the helmet or make contact if a player is in the neutral zone and they draw you off sides. All he did was point at him, then they gave the flag. It's part of home field advantage.
He got it. We knew this. You heard it. Real quick before we go,
you'll get that 8 times this year too.
How was it?
How was what?
The crowd.
Oh, so loud.
Okay.
That place is intense. The way they do after incomplete passes, where their whole crowd goes incomplete.
Yeah.
My first time riding on a bus going into the game, by the way, too, and
like
the fans knew where the team was going in, and there's a lot of folks booing you and thumbs down. Even when you're driving through downtown from the hotel to the stadium, people are boo!
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see.
It wasn't surprising, but it was interesting to see for the first
Wait to see all the different species of birds that'll be thrown up in the sky.
Well, yeah, that too. I didn't get anything thrown at me. People were nice to me.
Yeah.
Not that I matter, but, I digress.
I get it.
Dan is in Lewisburg. Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys. Enjoy the show. How y'all doing?
Good morning, Dan.
Good. Hey, just some real quick observations. They've been brought up. Hey, when we have more penalty yards than passing yards or rushing yards in a game, the opposition has like a 2-to-1 ratio of total yards versus us. How many games are we realistically going to win?
Man.
Not many.
That's losing football, Dan, to have that be one of the main points of your game. That's not good.
Exactly. It's not good. And you hear the term used, clean up. We'll clean up. What is the biggest thing you think the Titans need to clean up on this week? Getting ready for the Rams, and I'll hang up.
Thank you, Dan. Ramon?
Play calling and penalties. Having to flow. And that's so many things. Like starting good on first down. Getting first down calls. Getting a first down. And if you are going to run a pace, it's that. And then also having a flow as a coach of knowing what are we doing. Like, it's got to be hard to simulate it. Heck, here I was a flag football coach at times trying to figure out what am I running next. Like, I get it. It's tough. I don't want to make it seem like Callahan's job is hard. But when you come to the top of the top league, there is an expectation, and that's where the biggest flaw is at. This fan base and this team, the league has an expectation for guys in this role. And that's where it kind of snake bites him a little bit as the head coach play caller.
Biggest thing to get cleaned up is rhythm in the passing game. That's on Cam Ward. That's on his wide receivers. That's on the offensive line. That's on the coach understanding how to get the quarterback in rhythm. Again, the positivity of this morning, I know there's not much of it, and you might not want to hear it, but the fact of the matter is that teams improve the most from week 1 to week 2 because they learn when live bullets are flying, who is my football team?
Mm-hmm.
Coaches learn more when they watch their team play in week 1 than they do in all of training camp. They do. And it's why teams reinvent themselves because they say, oh, okay, all right. We thought we could get away with this concept. We thought we'd coached this. But when the pressure and anxiety of getting hit, like really getting hit, and schemes going up against you are not vanilla, just, hey, let's practice this for preseason, you learn more about your football team. So they got to go do it.
Yeah.
They've got to make the proper adjustments. But it's why I think job security conversations are totally unreasonable. I get the rule thing with the Iamander catch is an issue. I will give you that. Let's see how they respond. They've got to go do it, but let's see how they respond. Can we also do one more thing, Ramon?
I'll listen to it. What we got?
Can we please, as fans, not wish for a coach back who's 6-19 in his last 25 games?
Who lost yesterday?
We've had a lot of calls and tweets and texts. Oh, Vrabel knew the rules. Yeah, did that help him against the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday? No, it didn't. No. So,
Geno cooked.
While I understand the feeling that, yeah, Vrabel knew the rules really well and Brian Callahan messed up on that yesterday. Okay, well, what did that do for the players that were always hurt because Vrabel was running them into the ground at practice? What did that do for the terrible staff that Vrabel had, the offensive line coach that he consistently would have that didn't know how to coach offensive line? Mike Vrabel is not a perfect coach either. If we want to compare him to Andy Reid, okay, sure. Yeah, he's won whatever. But I just, why are we wishing for a coach back who's 6-19 in his last 25 games?
Unavailable.
No, he is not available. Yeah. Wide open for your phone calls, 615-737-1045. More of your reaction next.
If y'all are heading east Thursday through Saturday to Knoxville, they will have checkered kneeling, okay? And the best apparel that you can get is Volunteer Traditions, man. They started back on campus while I was there and have grown into the best vol apparel on the market. From polos, outerwear, tees, hats, and more. It's perfect for Saturdays and kneeling, man. You can head over to Volunteer Tradition and load up on the new apparel like Will and I both have. Will, you got to love it the same as I do.
Whether you are in an orange section or a white section this weekend when Tennessee takes on Georgia, Volunteer Traditions has been a part of Tennessee game days since 2006. They got what you need. They've got the quarter zips. They've got polos. They've got workout shirts. They've got the great performance material hats that are so good when it's hot outside. If you're looking for the best Tennessee game day gear, look no further than Volunteer Traditions. Check them out online, volunteertraditions.com. They've been making Tennessee apparel since 2006 and now carry everything Vols from polos, outerwear, tees, and hats. Check them out online. Get geared up for game day at volunteertraditions.com.
Kicks it to DK at the 5. He receives it, runs to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 40, to the 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, and is inside the 25 with 6 seconds to go in the half.
Ramona Willow 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Shall we give the people the floor, Ramon?
Oh, yeah. At this point, there's nothing else left. I mean, let's go.
Richard on YouTube says 16 more games to go.
Rich had something earlier to say, too. Richard also said this. You ready for this one?
Hit me.
And I had to be like, stop, okay? He said Cam Ward equals Will Levis.
Ooh, no.
That's also what Richard said.
No.
Rich, let me know if I'm lying on you. I don't want to lie on you.
Let's not do that.
That's what Richard said.
Let's not do that.
Richard said that, Will.
Andre is in Nashville up next. What's up, Andre?
Hey, what up, fellas?
Morning, Andre.
Yeah, I appreciate the show, man. Love hearing you guys in the morning. We can go a lot of ways with this game. I know Titans fans are upset at Cali. I'm a little upset as well. I think the challenge in Alex catch, that should have been a thing. I'm really not upset at the end of the first half. I see what he was trying to do. Maybe on the third down, we should have ran the ball for sure. Be a little bit more aggressive after those turnovers. Things should have been something that was considered. But also, players got to play. We had 6 drop passes. Looked like receivers were confused on routes. We had 3 people blocking on a screen that was open. It looked like Moses opened the seat for him. So a lot of things went wrong, but the players also have to be to blame. Cali may be in over his head, but we don't know. Give the guy some time. Let's see how he grows with the quarterback he just got. Defense is great. One thing, I think Femi played a really good game. So I haven't heard that, but I've seen Femi in the backfield a little bit yesterday. So that was good to see. The defense was going crazy. The secondary did good, except for some calls. But all in all, fans, let's remember the 3 C's. Stay cool, calm, and collected. Please, calm down, guys. That's it.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you, Andre.
Fair enough.
Andre gave criticism with a little bit of encouragement right there.
We'll see how they adjust. See if they get better.
1 week. I will say this because you can't hear me right now. At least you can have it won and lost like Baltimore did last night. I went to bed.
You did?
I went to bed. Because the game was done. After Derek ran into the end zone, I was like, oh, go ahead and turn the lights off. I was like, turn the lights off.
No, we were right before we started the show, you were like, wait, Baltimore lost?
I didn't even laugh. Like, my AFC side didn't even show in that point. Like, I didn't even laugh. I was genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
I ain't even talked to Bert today.
Yeah, no,
he's going through it.
No, I ain't got nothing. I've been talking to Lucas. I ain't talking to
The
Bert.
Buck Rising show begins in 35 minutes. We'll see. Question on YouTube for you, Ramon. Jameson writes in and says, is the job of an NFL head coach a job meant for learning on the job, or should you have learned the rules before you got to that level?
I think a lot of us should have learned before you got to that level. There's so much, like, this is, having an NFL head coaching job is a lot like I would expect studying for like the bar exam. Or if you're a lawyer and you're going through a trial and there's cases that reference to ways that you can win. Hey, in 1956, we had this case versus the state. There's a lot of that goes into it. I do give grace to a guy that's been thrown under the meat grinder into trying to figure out how to manage a team. I felt like that's year 1 for him. I feel like managing a team, being a new play caller, but also overseeing the special teams, the defense, and the camaraderie of your team. Yeah, I give you grace for that one. But as far as like you getting in front of the judge, Will, and stating your case and proclaiming my client is innocent, like, he's supposed to, I would expect no, that one. There's a high expectation for one of those 32 jobs, yes.
I have a lot of questions this morning, and many of them I don't have answers for yet. The biggest question I want to know at 12:30 when Brian Callahan speaks is, why did you misquote the rules postgame? Why did you all believe, or did you really, in your heart of hearts, believe that one elbow does not equal 2 feet? Was that something that you misspoke on? And the real reason you didn't challenge is because upstairs told you that they didn't have enough to see if the elbow got in, and you just misspoke? Did you just not know the rule? I'm interested to learn that. I want to know, why did you revert back to being such a penalized team when in preseason you weren't penalized, and leading up to the game you said, hey, we feel like we've really addressed the self-inflicted negatives? That, I think, is the next biggest question, because, Ramon, the answer we don't have yet there is, one, is that just who you are as a team again, to where you're always going to be penalized, the operation's not going to be clean? Or B, was this a hostile environment that brought out the worst habits in you when the bullets started flying against a really good defense? And as you get more comfortable within this new system, because this is kind of a new system, and as your young players get more comfortable, do you take away some of those penalties as you just learn how to be pros again?
Right.
That's why we play the games, to find out answers to those questions.
If I can revert back to my youth, this is like when I knew I had a whooping coming home. Like, Callahan going to that booth, to that podium today, like the thought of having to answer that question. And I got a minimum of 5 times it's going to be asked to him. No answer is going to satisfy Buck if he's in that room just to use him. I don't think no answer is going to satisfy this fan base in general and hearing whatever comes out of his mouth. Unless he says, I was wrong, I screwed up, it was me, or throw somebody else under the bus. I don't see this is like waiting. Punishment is on its way.
It's pretty clear to me that Brian Callahan missed the rule. I'm more interested to the comments of the chat. Like, I'm not giving him an out. I just want to know what his answer is. Like, what will he answer today to say, well, does he take full accountability and say, yeah, I messed up? I don't know. We'll get the answer. 12:30, live on the Buck Rising Show. Mark is in Nashville next.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to kind of follow with some stats. But what game do coaches have the most time to game plan for?
Going into week 1 after the bye, most would expect.
Okay. So Cam yesterday, 112 passing yards, 42.9% completion percentage, 6 sacks on 28 attempts. Levis, 127, 59% completion, 3 sacks. So for an offensive coordinator to have months to know their opponent, the stats are about the same. So, yes, I think Cam's got way more upside than Levis. But Richard's not really wrong in the chat, right, when he says that Cam equals Levis. But Cam equals Levis because of Brian Callahan not putting in.
Thank you for the call, Mark. I don't think that's totally fair, because Cam Ward didn't lose you the game yesterday the way Will Levis lost you week 1 last year. Like, the key interception to lose the game has to be a major part of the talking point there. It just is. And I think the reason why the stats look similar, too, to play devil's advocate of what you're saying, is the game plan was similar. Hey, against a good defense, on the road, in a loud, raucous environment, in a game where we feel like we don't need that many points to win the game, let's muddy it up. Let's be conservative. Now, the problem is you went away from the conservativeness in the second quarter when you threw 3 times on your own 9 and only took 9 seconds off the clock. So, believe me, far from perfect, but I think that's being unfair to Cam Ward, comparing him to Levis last season in week 1. Levis gave the game away. Cam did not. Cam was not even close to giving the game away in the same context that Will Levis did in Chicago last year. You can't make that comparison.
Yeah. It's just, my bad, I'll say it in a minute. But when you look at the one-to-one comparison, he's the common denominator in that one, too. I got a text from our teammate here, Buck Rising, and he was just saying, too, he was like, since in the press conference room was blood in the water, they're not prepared for this responsibility.
Yeah. He's got a lot to answer for today. Brian Callahan does. A lot to answer for today. I'm interested to hear what those answers are and see what answers we really get on the field, because that's more what I'm interested in.
Oh, yeah, that matters most.
Like, what happens in week 2? Do you make the jump? Are you, as a coaching staff, prepared to take what didn't work in week 1? Do you feel like you have the adequate tools on that staff to put together a game plan and have a chance? We'll find out. Johnny's in Nashville next. Go ahead, Johnny.
Hey, yeah, man, I just want to mirror Andre and what he said. Everybody just needs to relax. It's only the first game of the season. We won 3 games last year. We went up into Denver. That was a playoff team last season. It was a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be. We got a young team. Everybody's going to have to do what Aaron Rodgers said and relax.
Thank you, Johnny.
We got a long season ahead of us.
Oh, no doubt.
Appreciate the call.
It is week 1. It's most definitely week 1, but a head coach play caller, it makes it harder when you got your guy finally. When game planning for the first week is always, you expect you to have a whole lot of time. I expect that to be the floor after the bye week. How do you readjust to what's been done to that point? But that ain't his only task. It's also the penalties. It's also situational football. It's also understanding the flow. It's also how you change the narrative of what you are, not also being out coached by your defensive coordinator and your special teams coach. It's heavy. It's way heavy on Cali right now, and it's week 1.
Chase is in Franklin. Up next. Hey, Chase.
Morning, guys. I'm going the opposite way. I think y'all are being too soft on Callahan. It's not game 1. It's game 18. It's week 18. This is his 17th game, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, same offensive coordinator, same staff, same issues. And I'm with Buck. It's an embarrassment to the Titans organization that he doesn't know the rules. That's a complete embarrassment.
We haven't disagreed with that at any point this morning, Chase. This is not game 1. I agree. We've been fair to say that Brian Callahan's got to do a better job and has to know the rules.
You're talking about game plan. Okay, well, the end of the second half, like you said, that doesn't match the game plan whatsoever. So you can't, honestly, this is where I'm at as a fan, as a season ticket holder. You can't convince me that Callahan understood the situation. Are we sure that he was really going for points there, or did he not understand he could run the clock out? Because that's not what he said in the press conference. He did not say I was trying to be aggressive to get points. He said I was trying to get aggressive to get out from where I was.
They were aggressive to go kick a field goal.
Are we sure that he knew the situation? That's not what he said in the press conference, though, Will. He did not say I was trying to get aggressive to get points. He said I was getting aggressive to get out from from our own goal, basically.
I can tell you for a fact. Thank you for the call, Chase. We got to move on. I can tell you for a fact, Brian Callahan has said we are calling the game differently because of Joey Sly and how far he can kick it. You don't want to believe me, you don't have to believe me, but that's just the reality of the situation.
He was ticked off right there as a season ticket holder.
I get it. I understand why people are upset. Again, like Michael on YouTube says, Will keeps talking like it's Callahan's first week. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I just don't want to fire him. We got to have a middle ground here, guys, where we can hold the coaches accountable and say that things have got to improve. But also, I don't know if these problems that we saw yesterday are indicative of who this team is or who this team was for one Sunday. We have 1/17th of the entire equation to solve the problem right now. That is all I'm saying. That's it. 1/17th. Let's see what they are Sunday. But my goodness, guys, we can hold the coaches accountable and also say that they get time to fix it this year.
Other part is just don't get it doesn't get easier in this first quarter. Whew. This first quarter doesn't make it easy.
Let's go to Mark in McMinnville up next. What's up, Mark?
Yes, I wouldn't call them about the stats of the X and O's, but I saw some juice that I've not seen in a long time in this team. They really attacked Denver, and they did. I was really impressed because I was getting down on the Titans, but I just hope people would, I don't believe Cam Ward's going to lose some confidence. There's something about him that just says, I think he's good. But Callahan, I just hope he keeps his confidence because he had confidence in his quarterback to go in those 3 plays. And I know it's maybe a bad, but, no risk it, no biscuit. So
it works both ways. You can say he'd be conservative, and if he was conservative and then they kicked it, then people would say, well, I wish they'd, risk it more or something. People always judge, but we got to support this team, and the head coach is the head coach of the team, so we got to support him too. Can't just all come down on him. You'd say it's his 18th game. Yeah, he's got to learn. He should have already knew, but he's still in a learning process too. He's got a brand new team. It's not like he's worried. He didn't basically. It's his first game to me because he didn't have a team last year. I don't think he even had anything to work with. Like, this is the first year that he's getting to implement the things he wants to do with the people he wants in the building. So it's not like it's his 18th game with the team he put on the field. He was a new coach. But anyway, I hope he keeps his head up. He doesn't seem to have the internal confidence. I don't know the man, obviously, but it just seems like Cam Ward has a lot more internal confidence, the intestinal fortitude, whatever they call it, with – I don't know if he does, but we need to.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate the call, Mark. We got to keep moving. I'm sorry because we got a ton of people on the line, but thank you for the call.
There's also these wins and losses is your walking and breathing resume.
Yeah,
walking, breathing resume.
Yep. Gil in California is next.
Oh, in Cali.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Good.
Yeah, my thing is, we had the whole off season to come with some plays to start, and we still went 3 and out. And then he's talking about he wants to get aggressive at the end of the second quarter. Where was that aggressiveness to start the game at? And I just feel that we need to be putting up more than no touchdowns. I'm getting tired of seeing the same old Titans come out there. So hopefully Cali can get it together. It's early in the season, but like you said, it's going to be rough for him today. I can't wait to hear his answers to these questions.
Thank you, Gil. Appreciate the call. I think the offense could have been more effective if you had run more tempo and no huddle with Cam. But, Ramon, the flip side of that is that if you run tempo and try to go quick and you go 3 and out, you're making the defense worse.
Yeah.
And the defense was playing pretty dang well. So complementary football matters. There's no better example than that than Tennessee, the Vols, who, sometimes putting your defense in the best position to succeed is being conservative on offense. So it's kind of it's a catch-22. Do you want to put Cam in the best position to be successful and risk hurting your defense? Or do you want to muddy up the game and allow the defense to be successful? The problem is the lack of consistency with that, because they tried to muddy up the game, and then at the end of the second quarter, they threw it 3 times on their own 9-yard line and gave up only 9 seconds of clock. That's where my issue lies is you got to pick one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be consistent, or you've got to pick your moments better to be aggressive.
I'm actually shocked at some of the support that Cali's gotten today. There's some that's saying, hey, be cool.
I feel like there's been more support for Cali than for me this morning, but that's okay.
No risking, no biscuit, Will. We're in the middle of this thing.
I don't take it personally. It's all right. Alvin in Nashville next. What's up, Alvin?
What up, Alvin?
Well, I think that all the other calls was wrong about. This is what it is. Cam Ward had no protection. It felt like Dennis Dillard was still in, and also Calvin Ridley, wide open drop. Slaylon Burks could have dropped that as well. Jarvis Brownlee, P.I. interference. Come on, man. It's the game right there, all in a wrap. That's it. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Alvin.
Hey, Alvin, you're going to have to see Savage, man, calling that man Slaylon Burks, man. Don't be doing my brother like that, man. Come on, he ain't ever dropped none. He always finished at the bucket, man. That's a trailing problem. That's not a Savage problem.
Kathy is in Nashville up next. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I want to throw in that Callahan being play caller and head coach may not be working because he doesn't have the experience of someone like Sean McVay or, coaches who understand that well. It's got to be hard having everything coming into your headset while you're trying to make a play call. And I think as a young head coach, that might be something he wants to examine, because it appears to me he has some good players now, people that have bought into the system, want to see it work, but they can't play in chaos. And if he continues to have chaos, maybe selecting an offensive coordinator who can follow what his lead is and try to just be a head coach might be something he'd want to think about. So that's my thoughts. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kathy.
That is a great, phenomenal suggestion. If he'd have done that on the front end of this thing.
Yeah, you can't manufacture experience, and he's getting it right now. To your point about Sean McVay, in year 2, Sean McVay went 13-3, and the Rams went to the Super Bowl.
To add more of the point of him relinquishing the play calling side of this thing, I've seen coaches protect themselves by having a coordinator in front of them. That way I can fire said coordinator, get another one, or fire that coordinator, and I now take over the play calling responsibility the way Clark Lee did with his Vanderbilt Commodores, right? Although we've seen other coordinators do that type of stuff. If Callahan gives up play calling, it is a wrap.
Agreed. Coming up, rapid fire on the phones. We'll start with Zach and get to as many of you as we can who are currently on hold. Coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Man, shout out to Hiller, man. They came out to my house and helped me solve some things around it the other day, man. There was an electrical issue that I had going on, small voltage type of stuff, but they do a lot of those things, man. From the heating and cooling side of it, it'll be soon that you'll end up having to get your HVAC service because going into those winter months, you want to make sure that heat is pumping the way you need to, man. They're also the company to call for those type of finding a solution for that, man. Because every time you call them, they're going to solve your problems quickly, and I do mean that. One of the cool parts about them, too, the price you're told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you get your bill. Hiller's been in business for over 35 years, and our family-owned and operated. My tech last week, man, was very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. Left him a 5-star rating, all right? And the all-background checked and drug screen. If you got any issues around your house that you want to have taken care of, you can trust them because their motto is, happy you'll be, the service is free. But you can go to happyhiller.com and be sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone. Wrapping up the show as we go quickly to the phones. Coming up tomorrow, we will talk with Austin Price. He'll preview Tennessee and Georgia. Oh, baby. Big one. College game day in town. Ramon Foster on the call. Going to be a big week.
Not an empty seat.
Big week.
Not an empty seat.
Zach is at Nashville next.
What up, Zach?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
So I guess really just a couple of things. I watching the game yesterday was not a very good sight, but a couple of things that really frustrated me. I guess they talked about being aggressive and being consistent, and when I watched them, kick the field goal on 4th down early in the game, I mean, that's fine. But I just feel like when you have a rookie quarterback like that, we're already not planning on winning the Super Bowl. Why not give the kid a chance? Between that and then the consistency in play calling, I mean, running the ball the whole game is great, but they preached about getting rid of Henry for running, and then here we are turning around doing the exact same thing again. The line was atrocious. Really, it was just an all-around circus. And lack of better words, I really think Callahan needs to leave. And I think, like the guy said on the phone earlier, if we lose to the Patriots in a few weeks, you'll watch a whole new management team come through. So, but yeah, that's really all I had for you guys. And yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
I'm not there yet, but I respect where you are. Troy is next. Hey, Troy.
T. Roy, good morning.
What's going on, guys?
Morning.
Fellas?
Morning.
First thing first, let me just go ahead and address this for the fans out there. If another fan calls in and say that stupid Aaron Rodgers quote, relax, I swear I'm going to give them a Rick James slap. I'm talking about what did the five fingers say to the face?
Slap!
Say to the face. Slap. Because I could have sworn I heard the same thing come out people's mouth last year. Hey, man, it's just the first game. Man, just relax. Year before that, hey, it's just the first game. Y'all guys just need to relax. The year before that, the same thing. Second of all, yes, Kelly, you need to leave. I'm sorry. You need to leave. Because if you ain't learned nothing from last year, what are we doing? You're going to be out there looking for a job just like me, because I'm going to go to the interview as I speak.
Hey,
so, hey man, I
get employed.
Thank you, Troy.
Troy, you need to leave.
Thank you, Troy. We got to get out of here, so I'm cutting you off there. But
Troy, go get hired, baby.
It's a great voice.
What's a good
You need to leave.
You need to leave.
Alex in the borough. We got to be really quick. What you got?
Alex.
Yeah, man. How you guys doing, man?
Good.
I'm a season ticket holder for a while. Just throwing this out there. When are we as a whole going to get over the hump of continuing to have the potential on paper? It always looked good on paper. But whenever it's time to actually do something, nobody shows up but my kicker. I'm tired of that same story. We got the opportunity to be able to make something happen. The defense always does good. They did good last year. But we got to pick up the pace whenever it comes to the play call from the coaching staff. And also the key players can't drop their opportunities whenever it's right in front of them. It is a struggle to continue to always say that we'll have a better next season. And then when it gets here, I get it's the first game, but damn, excuse my language, something got to give, man.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate the call. We're out of time, but I don't think things look that good on paper is the thing. Saying that, like, things look good on paper and that it didn't go well. Like, this team is in a rebuild. This roster is not at the point to feel like they can go to Denver and win. Like, I get that you kind of threw it away yesterday, but things good on paper, to your point, I don't think things are that good on paper right now. It's just going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's your reaction Monday. I'm going to go take a nap and then maybe have a beverage tonight. What about you, Ramon?
You need to leave.
Hot tea beverage so I don't get sick after
I got to go coach up some middle school kids there. We got a game tomorrow. Well, hey, the show goes on. I don't know what else to say to
better
him,
or
man.
worse.
Prepare for Buck.
Get us out of here.
Put your gloves on, I guess, man. But your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot. You need to leave.